San Diego's team, everybody. Congratulations to SDFC on breaking the San Diego curse, at least yesterday, a little bit. Welcome in. Happy Monday, everybody. Haven't won anything yet, but they did advance. And in a do-or-die game, who expected it? I didn't. I know we talked about it last week. Everyone was a little on edge. No reason. SDFC came out and handled business in a huge way at Snapdragon Stadium last night, taking down Portland after their fourth straight meeting, knowing they're tired of seeing those dudes' faces. They won't have to see them again for a while.
Things were getting chippy.
They were getting real chippy there at the end. Well, when you're getting your ass handed to you, weird stuff happens. And, man, that was an incredible, incredible victory for SDFC. Now we got to wait 2 more weeks, 2 weeks from today, till they tee it up again. But it was awesome. It was an awesome game. So much fun to see. They have captivated hearts and minds in San Diego in their first season. They've gotten the most soccer novice. Actually, I would go as far as call myself as anti-soccer for many, many years, to sit there and like push my kids out of the way so I could watch this game at 6. I didn't want to miss a second. It was awesome. It was awesome. Great to be back with you guys on a Monday. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
I was thinking about it yesterday. They mentioned on the broadcast for the SDFC match that crazy to think about where this team has come from since we were back here in February.
Right.
And I go, good God, the MLS season is long.
It's a long one.
And I thought about it. We literally had Tyler Heaps, their GM, call in on our last day at spring training.
Yeah.
We were out there on the patio doing a phone interview with them.
We had nothing else
for their first game.
Yeah, we had nothing else that day.
It's November, and we still have like 4 weeks before the champion is
maybe longer, actually. Yeah, they came in for the Christmas show last year. Mikey Varson brought me a new jersey, and still very small and tight, and I was going to wear it. But Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
It's nice to have some excitement, playoff excitement in San Diego in the month of November.
You are not kidding, man. You are not kidding. It was awesome. It was
the place
great.
Looked electric last night, too.
Oh, my God. I wondered, too, and I said this to you guys this morning. Did not get a chance to go to a game this year. It's hard, man, the weekends with kids. It's just hard. I had a hard weekend. I was really looking forward to getting back to work today. Work is this is my place of respite and relaxation. I feel fully relaxed here on the job, on camera, performing for San Diego. Much more relaxed than I felt this weekend. It was incessant. This weekend was just an incessant weekend. We had everything happened at once.
You were gone on Thursday for Disneyland. Birthday.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
I'm going to tell you all of it because it's pretty gnarly. But I was just going to say, as electric as that crowd looked last night, I thought to myself, could I even hang with going to a game? Because I can't do it I just can't do it for 2 hours straight. I can't chant. They're standing up the entire time. And I'm like, could I even get through it?
How tired is the guy who's drumming?
He's got to be exhausted.
I mean, just boom, 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 like for 2 hours. He takes a break at halftime at least, right? Boom,
yeah,
boom,
I think.
Boom, boom, boom. That's just it's hard. That's a hard fanning.
It really is, man. It really, really is. But it was a long weekend. Now, again, there's going to be people in the audience that their young kids have grown up. And they're going to go, Woodsy, I'm telling you, these are the salad days, buddy. You're going to look back on these days and miss them when they're gone. And I say to you, I know that. You're right. You're absolutely right. But you, friend, listening right now going, Woodsy, you're going to miss these days. You didn't miss them when you were in them. You were also exhausted. When you were in them, remember how you felt. That's how I feel. This weekend was crazy. And as you know, you mentioned, we go to Disneyland on Thursday, which in and of itself is a huge thing. We race home. We got flag football practice Thursday night. We get to Friday, and Friday night, Hannah said, Taylor really wants to go to Benihana for his birthday. I said, sounds good. Benihana's elite. We'll go. Went right at 5:00. Us four, our friends, the Coopers, family of 4, and my in-laws, Scott and Susie. Gaga and Papa.
So you got a whole hibachi teppanyaki
the whole
to yourself.
Thing to ourselves.
You got it surrounded.
Uh-huh. Now, we sit down, everyone's in good spirits, and the waiter walks up. And he hands out the menus, and he stops for a second. Now, you haven't heard this story.
I have not.
I called Paulie immediately after because, again, this is one of those stories where you're going to go, you're lying. You're lying. You made this up. Sitting there, and the guy is handing out the menus, and he gets to me, and he goes, oh, hey. And I go, what? And he goes, you know. And I go, what? He goes, you know. And I go, what do I know? I'm not joking. Guys, I'm not joking. He goes, I go, what? And he goes,
You know.
And I'm sitting there and everyone's looking at me.
What does that sound?
Everyone's looking at me. My whole family's looking at me. The Coopers are looking at me.
Like some inside joke between you and this kid.
Correct.
Does he think you're someone else?
Yeah. And he goes, you know. And my brain is like overtime. And I'm like, okay. So I put this together. I go, he clearly knows who I am. He clearly listens to the show because he's looking at me. He's happy to see me. And I said, so normally if I meet somebody out in the wild that is a fan of the show, they will always say, first thing, Woodsy, I love your show. And I say, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It took him about 5 minutes of him standing there going, you know, dude. Yeah, man, you know. And I'm looking at him going,
what is that?
Did I buy drugs from you? What? Like, how do I know you? Like, and he goes, finally, I listen to your show every morning.
Okay.
It's my man, Zach from Benihana. And I go,
what does that mean, though?
So that's what I wanted to know. I was like, so I'm going through my brain. I'm going, we've never done that if he had said like, you going to get some hot beef tonight? I'd go, ha, right? Or, do the show, bitch. Like I would get it. Like, but was never something we've done.
Loose cannabis.
Yeah, right. So he goes, and I go, all right, thanks for listening. Appreciate you. He goes, I'm a student. I listen to you guys every morning. So if you're listening, Zach, you're the greatest. You literally made my whole weekend. So he does that. And he's just a very energetic kid. So he takes our orders, comes back, and now every time he comes to refill my Sprite or like take my fork or bring me a fork or take my soup bowl, he's like, you done? I'm like, mm-hmm. And he's like, cool. And he walks away. So Hannah, my in-laws, now everyone at the table is going, my kids, by the way, are going,
oh yeah.
So the chef comes up and he introduces himself, Marco. And he is like he's the elite of the elite.
Is it Benihana? The chef comes in a little after.
The
waiter, you get some drinks, you get going, and then the chef comes in. The show starts.
So he's incredible. Like one of the best I've ever seen. Maybe the best. He actually did 6-7 in rice because my kids were all going 6-7, 6-7. He did it in rice. It was genius. He did stuff I've never seen before.
Did Zach say, "Oh, we need to get the All-Star out"?
I don't know.
Woods or
Is this VIP reference? I have no idea. But then the chef goes as he's cutting up the stuff, and he does it. Then he does it loud enough. Another chef at another thing goes.
Now I've heard them make sounds at Benihana. Is it just a Benihana thing that I haven't heard before?
So here's my theory. My theory is that management sat them all down and said, "Look, business is good." I looked around. It was packed to the gills. And I go, did they have a meeting where the management came and goes, guys, thanks for coming in on a Saturday, but we need to liven it up in here. Okay? We have a new protocol. When you're feeling the mood, I need you to just give out like a, and then if you hear it and you're working, you give it from the other table. Because the other chefs at other tables were going, while they were doing it. That's one theory. That it's the new Benihana protocol. My other theory is that Zach does it so much that they're like doing it as a bit to like make fun of Zach.
Okay, I can see that.
That's also another thing.
Yeah.
So you guys, I'm sitting there and I'm like, and they're all looking at me, and I looked at them. I go, this isn't like a Ben and Woods thing. We don't do that. We do now. Now we do this.
Now
but we didn't before. And I called Paulie after. I was in tears. Paulie was very high. He was trying to laugh, but he was very, very high. And he was like, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, you don't understand.
It was a lot to process.
It was a lot to process for me. I was
but
stone cold
I did
sober.
the sound all weekend long. I just
all weekend.
Walk into our bedroom.
As we left Benihana, I'm not joking. There were 4 children. They were all walking out through the restaurant going, I told Paulie this morning, I go, can you find that sound so I don't have to do it over and over? And he goes, how do I even find it? And I'm like, I don't know. How do you find like how
do you spell
like whoop? It's not whoop whoop. it's like ooh, ooh. And they did it. And I'm telling you, he's like, can I get your fork? Yeah, take my fork. All right, man, right on. Ooh, ooh. And he would walk away. Just a real subtle under his breath, like a ooh, ooh.
The chat saying they say that all the time.
We got there's 3 theories in the chat right now.
I've heard them. They make a lot of noises. I don't know that I've only been to Benihana one time.
One, it's a normal sound they make at Benihana. I haven't been there in years. So
I go there I've been there 4 times in the last 6 months. I've never heard it.
He was making a reference to you being the PA voice of the seal.
No, because I never did that either.
Seal sound, like he was trying to sound like a seal.
No.
And then there's a couple people who are making references to Office Space. That they did that in the movie Office Space.
That guy does like doesn't he do like the he does the O face, but I don't remember him going ooh, ooh. So it was surreal, like to say the least. And it was great. We had the best time. It was so much fun. But I'm exhausted. We're driving home, and this is where I put my foot in my mouth big time. And I have stepped firmly in it now. Your old pal Woodsy. Because we're driving home, and it was a nice conversation that I had with my wife. It was a normal conversation. It wasn't super, it wasn't heated, but I just kind of looked across at her and I said, hey, what time's Taylor's birthday party tomorrow? She said 2:30, but I've got to go get the donuts, and I got to da-da-da-da-da, and I got to da-da-da-da, and I got to da-da-da-da. She goes, oh, and she gets so stressed about it. She was very stressed at Disneyland the day before on her phone, getting fast passes. Like, it's stressful. And she's like, never again. And I stopped her. I go, do you realize now that is 7 straight years, because Bo's 7, about to be 8, that you've said never again. Throw in Taylor's birthday. There's 12 birthdays in the last 7 years that you've said, I'm not doing this again. Yet you do it again every year. And I go, I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I said, but I do feel you can call me old school. I do feel that a 1-day party will suffice. 1 celebration day for a child. She looks at me and she goes, well, you took 5 days for your birthday. I go, I traveled internationally, number 1. It was also my 50th. I can promise you for my 51st, I won't be doing anything, or my 52nd, or my 53rd, or my 54th, or my 55th, or my 56th, maybe 60. I'll go to Spain or something. But I go, babe, 1 day is enough. We went to Disneyland yesterday. We went to Benihana tonight, and now we're going to Sky Zone tomorrow, and you are super stressed out. So then she hits me with, guess what? All right, you're doing it from now on. And I go, what? And she goes, you're doing their birthday party. She goes, I hate it. It stresses me out every year. I go, oh, okay, really? And she goes, yeah, you're doing it. And I said, okay. I said, well, I hope Bo is excited for his 8th birthday in February to celebrate in an alley with his friends. We're going to throw the ball against the wall. I'm going to get him a box to play with. And this is going to be it. I said, man, this has been a 3-day. We did Disneyland, we did Benihana, and we're doing Sky Zone tomorrow. That's a lot. And you throw in soccer game. You throw in baseball game. You throw in t-ball game. You throw in end of year soccer party. I go, this is no weekend. I go, he's good. He'll be okay. 1 day would have been great. Now, again, it makes me look like I don't love my kid. I do. I love my kid so much. 72 hours, man, is a long celebration for a 5-year-old. And then he's in full birthday mode. You want to hear something trippy? That little SOB blew out 3 candles, 3 separate times. blew out candles.
3 sets of candles.
3 sets of candles. He did Wednesday night before we went to Disneyland on Thursday. He wanted to do it the Wednesday night, so we did it. He did it at Benihana. He had it in his little sherbet, blew that one out, and they did the whole and banging the thing. And then we did it at Sky Zone. This dude had 3 wishes. One of them was Craig Stammen. That was his Wednesday. That was his fault. He was the one on Wednesday night. That's what he wished for. And so I just looked at her and I go, all right, well, I'll do it. But I'm telling you, it's going to be no frills. And it's going to be thrown together. And it's going to, like my 5th birthday, I remember vividly because there's pictures of it. It was 1980. It's me, 3 buddies, my mom, and my grandparents, and we went to Mickey D's. I had a
place
hamburger, and we played in the playground
with the balls
for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, elite.
And
elite
then
birthday. Elite 1980 birthday right there.
And then we left. And guess what? I went home. I opened my presents. My birthday was over.
Sometimes the characters could show up for the birthdays. Did Ronald McDonald make an appearance at your birthday?
Hamburglar. I think I got a picture with Hamburglar, which is more my speed. But oh my God, I know. But oh my God, I said I can't do this every year. I just don't. I go. I don't have it in me, and you certainly don't have it in you, because I would like you to be in a good mood and not be stressed out. So now you can add birthday planner to the list for Bo. I don't know what to do. I have no idea, but I'll figure it out. Can't be that difficult. This kid is gonna be like, oh, cool, man. In and out with 3 of my friends. They'll have a great time. It's all about the company you keep, but 72 hours was a bit long for the. There it is. They wanted us to listen for it today. And
there's the sound
again. Just heard it again.
Alert JR.
Alert JR.
Engineering needs to know.
Aliens.
So it was
aliens at 6:18.
It was tough.
Take like next birthday, do a spiritual retreat with some kids.
With my kids.
Joshua
Take them to Joshua
Tree. Take them to Joshua Tree. Sit in the dark in the desert and just enjoy nature.
Yeah, it's not your worst idea. It's not your worst idea. I just said, babe, I hate when you get, all stressed out and you got to go pick this up and that and different cakes and different donuts. And like I said, man, 3 candles. It's like, all right, it's getting a little bit out of control.
Dominic says he had the same McDonald's birthday when he was 6 with Mayor McCheese.
The best.
Yeah.
Parents had it they really had it made back then. We're going to Mickey D's. We didn't eat Mickey D's a lot, right? So when you went to Mickey D's, it was a special occasion. And you sit there and the guy, they bring you your like happy meal. And then I think my Aunt Brenda made a cake. So they brought the cake to Mickey D's. We ate, we sliced up the cake, we played in the balls. And then that was, we just banged it. That was the rest of the thing. 72 hours, bro.
Dude, I've told you when I was like Bo's age, like 6, 7, 8 years old, I went to school with a girl. Her dad owned like 3 McDonald's in the area. So on her birthday, when everybody else brought like cupcakes, maybe for their birthday, she brought in full Happy Meals for every kid in the class, which was awesome. We got to go on a field trip every year to like a McDonald's factory.
Oh, badass.
And, like, see the buns on the conveyor belt. And they're like, yeah, you guys can grab one if you want. And we're like, this is the greatest.
Yeah,
trip.
this is
the greatest field trip ever. You're like, we could have gone to the aquarium, but we get to go to McDonald's factory instead.
Now, TVO in the chat, and I did say this off the air this morning, and I didn't think, I said, keeping up with the Joneses. Sheesh. And I said, yeah, I think there's some aspect of like, you don't want to be the one family that has like crappy birthday, you know what I mean, for your kids. Like you want to give your kids a good memory, but like he had a lot of good memories this weekend. So I kept asking him, did you have fun this weekend? And he's like, it was fine. I mean, he's 5, dude. He's not going to be like, thank you, father and mother. I know how much you spent and how much you put in. They don't know. They don't care. They just want to like open presents, eat some cake, be with their friends. So it was a lot. But now I have to plan the parties in perpetuity.
I just remember how elite it was the first time you got to jump into the balls and how excited
100%
that moment was.
Now, I wouldn't let my kids jump into the balls now.
How dirty and germ infested must they be? There's no way to clean them.
Well,
right?
I was at Sky Zone on Saturday. And they do a good job. I'll tell you, they do a good job at like constantly, like, but you can't possibly. I mean, there are kids everywhere, and
there's
they're
some guy in there individually wiping like
every
single
have, plastic ball.
They don't have the balls.
They don't have the balls. Yeah.
But the kids in there scratching their ass. And I watched 2 kids walk into Taylor's party room. No joke. One kid walked in and was like, and I was like, oh, snot hanging. And I was like, and I just like get up and I walk out and I'm just hitting the sanitizer. One kid's like,
You're like, I can hear myself getting sick as we speak.
There was like swine flu, dude. I have swine flu now.
Just start like licking
them. And they're all playing with the balloons and passing the balloons around.
And they're just sweaty and stinky. Even like the foam pit, all that.
They
foam
don't have that
just,
foam anymore.
They don't.
The
okay.
foam is gone, but they jump onto the trampolines are fun as hell. Now they do. It is a little Lord of the Flies in there. We walk down to this room and they have a screen, like a video screen with balls, and they throw the ball at the video screen. It pops the bubble. There were like 10 of Bo and his friends and Taylor's friends. And it was full on Lord of the Flies dodgeball in a room no bigger than this. And I'm watching them just smoke balls at each other. I'm like, all right, they've lost it. Like they're all fueled up on cake and stuff. But it was nuts, man. It was a really nutty week. I'm happy to be here at work where I can just relax now.
As usual, you had quite the weekend, Paulie. I mean, my weekend was just an unending stream of people coming up to me going, "What do you think of the Craig Stammen hire?
Oh,
what do you think of Craig Stammen? What do you think of the Craig Stammen hire?"
I had like 4 sporting events. You don't think the whole time. So, what do you think about Craig Stammen? I'm like, tune in Monday, 6 a.m. Oh, it was so gnarly.
We are, of course, working our way toward the introductory news conference, which will be carried live here on 97.3 The Fan at 10 o'clock this morning, which is, of course, I mean, we're all waiting on bated breath to hear what Craig Stammen has to say. He was not even rumored as a candidate, and then all of a sudden on Thursday morning, he's the new manager of the Padres. So we'll find out more today, just like the rest of you at 10 o'clock.
Never a dull moment. I'll tell you that. Never, ever, ever a dull moment.
Haven't heard anything else since basically the hiring. It's been very quiet over there. So a lot of eager anticipation for this morning's news conference. Before that, though, we got a lot to get to. Let's take our first time out. We'll set the menu. Obviously, SDFC, Aztecs basketball.
Yeah, buddy.
Had a weekend of football games all over the place. So we've got tons to get to before 10 a.m. and the news conference this morning with the new manager of the San Diego Padres, Craig Stammen. We'll do that all. We'll get a check of traffic. I believe Kelly Danek is back. Thank you for joining us on a Monday morning. Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
You okay?
Yes. Let's see. I got to start this morning, though, by talking about Prize Picks, my daily fantasy spot. I was watching the soccer last night and put together a Prize Picks lineup with our team and Portland's team. It's really fun. It's very easy to do. You can go, $5 lineups and just kind of try to win some real money while you're watching sports. I've been enjoying it for a couple of years. Very easy to play. You're setting lineups between 2 and 6 players and just picking against stat projections, more or less. Very simple. You can even stack them together if you have a certain player that you're watching and you enjoy, like Steph Curry in basketball, or you've got Lamar Jackson back in football. You can pick different stats for the same projection, like touchdown passes, rushing yards, passing yards, or 3-pointers, assists, rebounds. That's how you do it with Prize Picks. When you download the app, make sure you use the code KWFN. You're going to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That's code KWFN to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. It's easy to deposit and withdraw funds from your account with Apple Pay, Venmo, even MasterCard right now. If you win, you can get the money right out really quickly, like 15 minutes. I've had it back in my account. Very safe, very fun. Been doing it for a while. It's your turn next. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Busy show this morning here on 97.3 The Fan. This hour brought to you by U.S. Wellness Meats. U.S. Wellness Meats offers 100% grass-fed beef, pork, poultry, wild-caught seafood, and more. Ship free from family farms. Get 20% off your first order at uswellnessmeats.com. We will jump right into it here momentarily. Talk more about SDFC's 4-0 win last night over Portland to move on to the next round of the MLS Cup playoffs. We'll get you ready for the Craig Stammen news conference at 10 o'clock. And not a lot of Padres news over the weekend. Pretty quiet in Major League Baseball now that the season is over. And teams are getting ready for the GM meetings, which start, I believe, later today in Las Vegas, or at least tomorrow morning. But that'll be the first big milestone of the offseason coming up.
There was definitely news out in Major League Baseball this weekend. Not a lot of it had to do with the Padres. Former Padre, Manuel Clase, was heavily in the news. I mean, we'll go through this at some point today. It's It's about as bombshelly as it gets for Major League
Between
Baseball.
the NBA scandal from last week or 2 weeks ago and this, now we knew about this earlier in the summer, early in the season, this all happened. But now that there's
details,
the details and the punishments and everything are coming out, you're like, where do we go in sports?
Yeah. What's their like?
Because betting on sports has been around for as long as competition's been around.
Correct. Yeah. I think you could bet on the Gladiators, back in the Coliseum. I'm pretty sure you could.
I just don't know how these leagues are so in bed with the gambling books and every commercial. It's just, I don't know where to go. I don't know where we're going.
I don't know either. I really don't.
What did you think was going to happen?
No, I mean, yes and no. That's the age-old debate. Is like, well, if we got rid of this, all this would stop. No,
you can't get rid of it. Is what I'm saying.
It never.
It always
existed.
I know it's naive, but I do believe a lot of this is the fact that it is now electronic and available.
So
yes,
easy.
it's easier, but it's also much easier to catch the bad actors because there's
true.
a digital record of everything.
It's true. You guys remember though, like when I think the first time I ever bet on sports was the very first time I went to Las Vegas and went to a sports book.
Same.
And was like, oh my God. And you have no idea what you're doing. None. You walk up there with your $300 and you're like, hi, I would like, and they're like, write it down, dummy. Like you have no idea what you're doing. None. And you fumble your way through it. And then you sit in the sports book with your buddies. You eat a club sandwich, have 15 beers, and you watch all the games you just bet on. And you're like that. And you looked at each other at the end of it. And you know what you said? At least this is my experience. You looked at each other and you went, that was a great day. That was a fun day. Now you wake up in the morning, you click on one of 10 apps that you may have, and you're like, 300 here, 200 here. Let me add more money to this one. It's so easy to do, and I think that's what makes it. They had the numbers that came out. The numbers in the last 5 years that have online betting, it's in the hundreds of billions of dollars that are being gambled, online. It's just insane.
We'll talk about it later in the show, but there's something else that really concerns me about this, and it's not Major League Baseball, the NFL, or the NBA, and we'll discuss it coming up this morning. 7:00, some thoughts on another win for SDSU. Brian Dutcher, congratulations, his 200th career victory as head coach yesterday over Idaho State. Was watching that game. I get some college basketball news in there. And then at 7:35 on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline, Craig Elsten will join us to talk both Padres and, of course, the Cromaniac will discuss last night's big win for SDFC at 7:35. I'll guest on Ben Woods, appear on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Since 2010, visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Have our regular features, Don't Do This, Take on Woods to start the week, and of course, our biggest fan contest at 9:00. We'll have another name announced with your chance to qualify for the night in the Odyssey Suite at a Padres game next season. 20 tickets for you and your friends to watch a game with the fan staff. Make sure to register your name right now at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan if you want to hear your name called 3 times a day. And we're not here tomorrow. It's Veterans Day. Odyssey says, hey, this is not a work day for everybody. So buildings closed, and we'll have to hold everything else until Wednesday. So we got a lot to get to today.
We're going to be doing another celebration for Taylor's birthday tomorrow. So we'd like to invite everybody out. Come on out. And we're going to have another big party somewhere. No, it's actually, wish we were working. To be honest, I wish we were coming in. I got to figure out what we're going to do all day.
All right, let's check traffic, and then we'll come back. SDFC's big win over Portland last night and more coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
We still have this crash at the clearing stage on southbound 125 Otay Lakes Road off-ramp. The solo vehicle accident. Tow truck is on scene assisting with that. Also, watch out for some debris reported in the 2 left lanes southbound 805 just past Plaza Boulevard. We are dealing with some very thick fog around parts of the county, so you definitely want to factor that into your morning drive. Leave a little extra time for travel. Be extra careful once you are out there. A message from Valvoline Instant Oil Change. You can't avoid holiday traffic or your relatives, but you can avoid car trouble. Swing by Valvoline Instant Oil Change before Thanksgiving. It's your 15-minute drive-through oil change. No appointment needed. Find your nearest location and grab money-saving coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So watching the game last night on Apple TV, and it struck me that as the commentators were discussing that sold-out crowd at Snapdragon Stadium and saying, yeah, this might be the best fan base crowd in Major League Soccer in their first season as an expansion team. I had a whole range of things were running through my head. The first is, what took them so long to get a team here in San Diego?
Sure.
Why did you wait like decades on this? It's always been, they mentioned, it's always been a great soccer town. The ratings for soccer games have been huge. And yet it took you 30 years of this league to finally get a team that in a city that is just dying for something like this. And boy, the fans have really embraced SDFC in their first season. There's no doubt about it. It's electric.
Well, yeah, to embrace a team is one thing. To actually install and like work a culture into a team. And when it started, I was like, oh, this is like, it was a little odd. You're like, they haven't even been here and you're madly in love with them. But I understand it now. It took a while for me to understand. And we had the thing with the loyal and there was these different factions and just to see everybody like, you know what, let's get in and let's get in with both feet. Of course you thought about the NFL. Of course you did. Of course you think about the NBA. You think about all of it and you go, yeah, I don't want to hear anymore that San Diego's not a sports town. The only thing keeping from San Diego being a true sports town is somebody with some vision and frankly some money, to be able to come in and cut through the red tape and say, we need more of that here. We have to have it because you watched that place last night and it's badass crazy. Like they're just on fire. And it doesn't hurt that the particular brand of football that they play is a beautiful one and a successful one.
Think about all the good decisions they've made in this last, 2 years since they were officially introduced as San Diego's team. Sounds like they put together a really good ownership with Mohamed Mansour from Egypt and Saquon, built the facility, the Right to Dream Academy, hired Tom Penn, hired Tyler Heaps, hired Mikey Varas, which was absolutely key, picked the right players. Chucky Lozano brought a lot of excitement, but Anders Dreyer, clearly the best pickup in the entire league, was named the newcomer of the year in MLS. He's been an absolute superstar for the team, but the other players as well, guys like, you hear the commentators, more more about soccer than we do, but Yepi Dvorskov and Oni Vadakari have been such key performers, like maybe even under the radar performers for SDFC all season long. Picking up Amal Pellegrino, in the transfer window.
Scored like 7 goals or something already.
Absolutely exactly what the team needed. It's like the best trade deadline move in baseball. They did that as well. Yeah. It's just been one good decision after another that has led to this point where they're now in the final 8 of Major League Soccer. And now it becomes a little dicey because you've got just one game playoffs the rest of the way. After the 4-0 win with 2 goals by Dreyer, 2 goals by Pellegrino, Chucky Lozano, who had his, wrist slapped a few weeks ago for the tantrum, coming off the bench and looking very effective in that manner.
How great is that to have?
That's fantastic. I mean, talk about some coaching. That's some hard coaching that Mikey Varas has had to do in the last month to make this all work out and not have the team like crumble underneath them. They did not do that. Just capitalizing on the crowd last night and really never made a goal in the 6th minute. Had Portland on their heels right from the beginning. And
then Pablo Cisniega, who's, essentially filling in goal with one of the craziest saves I've ever seen in my whole life. I think you got a little lucky on that save, but it didn't go in, so that counts as a save.
Right off the line.
Right off.
Would have been an own goal off the chest.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. And, it's so fun to watch an elimination game and have like a laugher. I mean, it was a laugher. It was over. One was all you needed, but you really didn't sweat at all. You did not sweat that game really from the minute it started. 5 minutes in, you're like, all right, this is we're on our way. Anders Dreyer is a freak. The way that they move the ball, it's just like the craziest, crisp. The anticipation how many breakaway? I mean, in all honesty, the game should have been 12-0. I mean, we were down there about to score so many times. They have really, really opened a lot of eyes.
What I can't stop thinking about is most of the soccer I've watched up into this point in my life is Team USA, like in the World Cup, always kind of being outmatched. And it's always the other team who looks like that against Team USA. Like they've got the ball the entire time. They look like they know what they're doing.
We're on our heels.
Passing, and then occasionally we'll just kick a ball down the field and try to outrun somebody. But it never really seems to work. I love being at the other side. The team that's controlling the action has the time of possession. It's always 60% or more. They're just taking it to the other team. Now, are they vulnerable sometimes to the counter strikes? Absolutely. There was a couple of couple of moments,
couple swings and misses, and you're like, and then you're like, we're fine.
And that's going to be really the story going into the next game, because they're playing Minnesota United in the conference semifinals, and that game was announced either this morning or last night. It's going to be 2 weeks from today. It's a Monday night game at 7:00. I think that's because the Aztecs play that weekend as well at Snapdragon, so they had to find a date that the stadium was open. So Monday night playoff football in 2 weeks at Snapdragon. Minnesota, if I remember correctly, they're the ultimate counter strike team. They don't want to have the ball. So SDFC is going to have the ball like 3/4 of the match or more. But when they don't, they're going to be very vulnerable to the counter attack. You get one or two, you give up, your season could be over against Minnesota in a game like that. So going to be a very interesting matchup coming up in the conference semifinal round in 2 weeks again at Snapdragon Stadium. Monday night playoff football in San Diego.
Crazy, man. Monday night too. I mean, and that place will be jammed to the gills again on a Monday night. Yeah, it's there are plenty of rabid fans here, so I had the same thoughts as you. It does make you a little bit wistful when you watch it and you go, see, this is what could have happened. You watch some of the Charger game last night and you go, that sounds like they're in Pittsburgh. Really? Like it really sounded like they were in Pittsburgh last night. So I know there's Chargers fans out there, but it makes you a little bit wistful for what could have been. Yeah,
I had the other game on the other screen, but I was much more involved, obviously, in the SDFC game, and kind of was just glad. Like it felt like I'm glad for San Diego that you don't have to sit there and watch the Chargers play on Sunday Night Football, and that's your only sports viewing option. Because oftentimes on Sunday night, that's it.
That's it.
That's all there is. That's the last thing of the week, and you flip it on. And instead, you had this electric atmosphere in San Diego, and you had a bunch of Steelers fans up in Los Angeles, filling that place like they always do, opposing fans taking it over in LA. And I know that they'll never admit the regret, but there's got to be at least some on the part of the Chargers looking back and going, man, look how much San Diego gets behind their teams and sells out Petco Park, sells out Snapdragon Stadium. And we come up here for corporate suites and opposing fans. And I'm sure they're making plenty of money.
Sure.
It's fine.
It's the NFL.
It's a business, whatever. But there has to be a quiet moment every once in a while that Dean Spanos looks back and goes, we did give up something, though, by leaving San Diego. We gave up something pretty special by leaving San Diego. He'll never admit it.
I think Tarico I think he dropped the San Diego Chargers last
night. Really?
It's been forever.
8 years and he's still dropping the San Diego Chargers on us. Nice.
Yep. Yeah, I don't agree with you. I think Dean Spanos, I don't think he cares. I really don't.
Not at all.
I think others in the organization.
I don't think he lays in bed at night and worries.
No, I don't think he lays.
He thinks this is a huge success.
Yeah,
in some regards, it is.
It is, yeah, because it's full stadium. What do you care?
Right.
It's bad optics, but you don't care. Cashing checks.
Yeah.
I don't care if every person who listens to the show hates me. I don't care, because at the end of the day, if you're listening,
there's a great business deal. It's $1 a year to state-of-the-art stadium that's going to be filled up with opposing fans, but their money's just as money as
still spends
your team's money.
That's
so
right.
In a business sense, it's been a successful move for that team. And hiring Harbaugh, probably right move. They're right there, competitive in the I think they're in second place right now in the AFC West, and looking like they have a pretty decent team, maybe their best one since moving to Los Angeles. Justin Herbert's a solid quarterback.
Great quarterback. Fun to watch. Yeah. Good dude. Like, it's kind of what you dream of if they were here.
Congratulations to Keenan Allen, the all-time passed Antonio Gates last night as the all-time Chargers passing leader, most receptions in team history. One of the few holdbacks from San Diego that we actually got to see play here, back with the team and doing it. But that's pretty much all my thoughts on the Chargers and the NFL from over the weekend.
Yeah, we'll have Craig Elsten on at 7:35 to get back into SDFC and kind of I want to get a little preview of what to expect from Minnesota. I know they had a pretty emotional win yesterday as well. I know the Wave lost yesterday too. Craig's going to want to talk about that.
I watched some of that game.
I did too.
Yeah, it was scoreless all the way into overtime, and then they gave up a quick goal in OT and they were never able to find the equalizer. Better season for the Wave. Obviously, they missed the playoffs last year, but that's going to be a disappointing way for any team to end in scoreless fashion. And that was kind of when they struggled. That was their problem. They just couldn't find the net, couldn't find goals enough this season. We'll
switch gears a little bit. The Craig Stammen press conference is going to take place today at 10.
Yep.
Now, we've got some Freaky Friday to do here. Ben's going to be leaving the studio when?
I think as soon as we finish the 8 o'clock hour, so 8:55.
Okay.
I will race down, hop in the car, drive down to Petco Park, and hopefully be inside the press conference room, which is that auditorium, I believe. Got used to where they always introduce the new managers every 2 years.
Yeah, Don Orsillo.
And we'll have our 97.3 The Fan set up there. I'll put on the headset, and then around 9:30 start doing the show from there, and that will allow you guys then to hop in the car at 9:30. Get down there in time for the start of the press conference at 10 o'clock.
It never really works out that way.
Not quite.
We're hoping that it does. And then Frank's coming in. He'll run the board when we jam, allegedly.
Hopefully.
Hopefully that's the case. So it's going to be cheek spreader. Says I can't wait for the cheek spreader, by the way. Can't wait for the smooth transition. I'm sure it's going to be incredibly smooth. Me and Paulie sitting here going, do you hear him? Is he there yet?
Where is he?
Ben,
it's been 25 minutes.
What's going on?
You won't even notice that we're doing anything. It'll sound so
seamless.
Seamless, yes, in the 9 o'clock hour.
Yes. Yeah. Italian Paul will be in to run the board while we go, come in a little bit early. And then we'll get down there for the presser. People have been asking all week, all weekend, what do you think? What do you expect to hear? Listen, I expect to hear what I've heard at every manager press conference I've ever been to. Grateful for the opportunity. Excited to lead these men. There's nothing he can say to me that makes me today think you can lose a press conference. I think you can lose a press conference, but even if you lose a press conference, I don't care.
You can win or lose a press conference, and it has no impact on whether you win or lose baseball games.
No, just go win baseball games. That's all.
You have a terrible press conference and win 105 games next year.
No one
you can have the best press conference and lose 125 games.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't really matter to me. What he says today. We know Craig Stammen. We've seen him. We know with the cut of his jib.
He's not going to lose the press conference.
No, I don't. I'm saying you can.
Yeah, but you've talked to him enough.
Yeah, 100%. He's a really good communicator.
He knows how to handle himself.
Yep. I talked to. I had same with you. Probably 10 people. My father-in-law, buddies on dads on the baseball team, dads on the soccer team. They all sought me out. What do you think? What's going on? And I said, look, my standard answer right now is we'll see. We'll see how he does in the 8th inning of a close game. That's where he should be judged, is how good of a strategist is he? The thing that I think personally, and really just personally alone, that I'm most looking forward to is, by all accounts, he is an absolutely elite communicator. And that means with the media, and it also means with the players. I've heard he is a fantastic communicator, which is 80% of that gig, is being able to communicate with the players and with the media and all of that. So is he a yes man? Absolutely. Is every other manager in baseball a yes man? Absolutely. Tony Vitello. It's going to be a huge yes man.
It's Vitello, I found out this weekend.
Yeah.
Tony Vitello.
Tony Vitello.
Yeah.
All right. Tony Vitello. 100% yes man. Derek Shelton, absolutely a yes man.
Tori Lovulo.
Tori Lovulo, yes man. Kurt Suzuki, yes man. I mean, this is where baseball is in the year 2025.
There certainly doesn't make any sense to hire a no man as your manager.
I mean,
hey, here's what we're gonna do. No.
No.
That's not what we're gonna do.
And so,
then what's the point of running the team?
We'll see. We'll see what happens today.
Those guys exist. They just don't have jobs.
Yeah, they do podcasts and stuff now.
Dominic reminds everybody it was at Mike Schilt's press conference that you guys ran into Jackson Merrill
That's right.
before I got there. I
Yeah.
wonder if you're going to run into anyone on your way in this time.
Yeah, maybe
Cruise Schoolcraft.
Maybe
he says.
Tucker Musgrove or something.
All right, we'll come back.
Who's left?
Hour number 2.
True.
Aztecs, another big win yesterday, and milestone for Brian Dutcher next on The Fan.
There is no way that just happened, Paulie.
Dude.
We have our engineers now.
They hate us.
They hate us. They should. We lost the table leg last week. We've had the weird microphone sounds. Paulie just went to fill up his water bottle in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it slipped. I've dropped it so
This
many
giant
times. A big old jug.
Eco water jug. It's very slick and
It is
smooth.
slick.
It can just easy, just like it's heavy.
Yeah.
Slide right out of your hands.
And you dropped it.
I filled the whole effing thing up with some ice water just now during the break, and it fell right to the floor. Pretty sure it landed like on its like top, so it's just water everywhere.
just streaming into our.
And then I look at my watch and I go, "Oh, it is 6:58. I have 2 minutes before we're back."
Yeah, in
on
a
the
normal
air."
job, it's like, oh, well, I just got to spend the next
clean it
20
up.
minutes
Yeah,
cleaning it up.
right.
But in this job, you can't do that.
Because you would have just heard ZZ Top playing for like 4 minutes.
I'd still be
just
over
now.
there on my hands and knees. Just, oh
So
my
you
God.
actually
So
had-
I had to walk over to our engineers and go, "Hi, JR.
Hey guys, could you clean up my
I'm very
mess?
sorry. I spilled a bunch of water in the kitchen. It slipped right out of my hands all over the floor. I also have to be on the. Is there a towel or a mop? And I can like throw it down, and then in 15 minutes, I'll have another 5-minute break. I can run over there." He goes, "You know what? I'll just do it. I'll just do it. You get your ass back on the radio." I'm like, "I'm so sorry." And then I'm just standing there, and I'm like, "Well, do I fill it up again while they're just sitting there
on their hands
Our
and
engineer
knees?
JR
I'm
is
like, I don't even want water anymore."
he's the quintessential disappointed dad,
Oh yeah,
isn't he?
always. What
Oh,
did you do to
God,
it?
with us?
Oh, I feel so bad. Great bit. I'm just gonna start leaving messes
Like
around the.
60 ounces
Yeah.
of water.
I'm just gonna start leaving messes around here. Like JR, did you grab my Coke cans and trash that I left? Oh my God. Oh my God. It's really not Paulie's fault. He's got to be
it
back.
is, he dropped
Yeah,
it,
but
but it can happen to anybody.
But there's nothing he can't physically.
It was the immediate feeling of knowing this is going to take longer than 2 minutes to clean up.
Correct.
I want to clean it up. I wish I had that 5 minutes, and I don't.
Now, if it was me, no problem. I'll just clean it up and I'll come back in and I'll tell you guys what happened. Paulie has the buttons. He has to steer the ship, and we don't know how to fly the ship without him. So you've made yourself indispensable, but also a massive diva by having the engineers clean up your messes.
Dude.
That's like a Madonna move.
What?
There was some guy over the weekend.
Like, should I Venmo him like $10?
There was some basketball player. Did you guys see this? Throws his water bottle down. It hits a team employee, soaks them.
They hit Dylan Brooks.
And there was a team employee on the floor, or a photographer maybe. Throws it down, explodes everywhere, hits the employee, soaks them, and then he sits like this, doesn't move. And while they all clean up around him, I'm like, we have our own. I don't even know who did it, but it was gnarly. No, JR does not sound like Adam when he doesn't go, "Hey, can you do this?" He just is like, "I'll do it. You'll mess it up." Brandon Ingram. That's right. It was Brandon Ingram. Boom! Water bottle explodes. He had a temper tantrum. And from the Raptors. Yeah. And soaked somebody. They had to clean up his mess. I'm like, oh, I love this.
Do we need just like a bell we can ring
That
when we
would
need
be-
JR and the engineers
Well, I
to respond to us?
had a tier one.
Another mess.
Yeah,
Ring the
another
bell.
I had a tier one reach out and he's like, "Hey man, I really want to get in the business. I'll do anything that I have to do. Like, I'll come up and be your guys' assistant." I'm like, we can't. Buddy, if you think I could do that illegally and get away with it, I'd have 7 assistants. They'd be planning birthday parties for me. But I said, there's something about, California state law that doesn't allow me to just bring people into work for free, apparently. So I would love to do it. I can't do it. We're not going to get any assistance.
Talk a little college basketball here to start hour number 2. Not quite as smooth of a performance for San Diego State yesterday as their opener, but
A hotter start.
got off to a great start with the return of Reese Dixon Waters, who came back from his corneal abrasion and said, not even sure how it happened. I assumed, at practice,
Yes.
someone just was swiping at a ball and got him in the eye. He just said he woke up in some of the worst pain in his life. And I believe him. I talked to him a few weeks ago. Kid is
He's
He's tough. He's understated. He's not a complainer. He's just a nose to the grindstone, tough, mature kid, a 5th-year senior. And he said it was some of the most excruciating pain ever. Open your eyes, excruciating. Close your eyes, excruciating. There was nothing he could really do about it, which is why he missed the first game of the season against Long Beach State. Had to kill him. He's been waiting 2 years essentially to play another basketball game because he missed all of last year with a broken foot. Finally, he's back.
591
days between games.
591.
Crazy.
Just dying like a basketball rat that he is. Was like,
it's crazy for somebody to even stay with the school for 591 days. Now
you're absolutely right. I mean, you're absolutely right. And he came out hair on fire, man, ready to go. Super, super important that he does that, as much as he can for the Aztecs.
He hit his first couple of buckets to start the game. I was like, man, it's good to see him
good
back.
to see him back.
Incredibly efficient. I think he was 6 of 8, 15 points, 6 rebounds, couple assists, a couple of steals. And the game did show once again how deep San Diego State is. Miles Byrd only had 4 points, but he had 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Everybody can seemingly do just about everything on this team. Farrell Compton comes off the bench and just dunk. It's so athletic. He has clearly developed his game and body to the next level. And you still haven't seen Magoon Guath, who's probably going to be the best player on San Diego State's team, if not one of the best players on the West Coast and in the entire country. He may return for their next game, which is a week from tomorrow against Troy. They've got the rest of this week off. He's going to be able to practice fully for a week. He was suited up for the game. Brian Dutcher could have used him, but he'd only practiced like 3 times with full contact and decided they didn't totally need him. Now, Idaho State made a bit of a run in the second half. They were down, I think, 22, and they pulled within 12. Yep. Dutch called a timeout. You don't see him do that. He's not one of the coaches who always panics when his team gives up a few points, but he said, all right, let's stop it here and now. And they responded with a little bit of a run to kind of put it away. So ended up going on to the 73-57 win. It was Dutch's 200th career head coaching victory. After the game, did you hear what he had to say?
No.
It was pretty nice. He said, well, I mean, I am lucky because Steve Fisher decided to retire. He could still be coaching today, honestly, if he wanted to, but he let me take over the reins. And he said he'd be well over 1,000 wins if he had stayed and continued to coach, but he felt like it was time to step down and give Dutch his chance, and Dutch has run with it. I mean, 200 wins is significant for any coach, and he's done that in his first 8+ seasons now as the head coach at San Diego State. Very impressive.
That's how I feel about Dave Shelley and Chainsaw.
They stepped aside.
Yes.
They were ready to call it a pass on the reins.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I've told Dave to his face, thank you for retiring. Now I can make some money. Appreciate you, my friend. Exactly. Yeah. Slid right in. No problem.
Chance, I think the rankings will come out this morning. I don't know how much of a shakeup there'll be, but San Diego State may enter the top 25 this morning, or at least close to it. I think they're 29th in the original polls, but should be moving up, hopefully, this today, depending on, how the voters vote, and we'll see later this morning.
Another good game from Elsie, freshman, 8 points, but Pharaoh was 7 of 7 from the field. He was fantastic. He plays with an edge. It's a good team, a very, very deep team. And I mean, they're rotating. I was like having a hard time keeping up with who was playing what. But again, they came out with a little bit hotter start, but their defense is just so stifling. It just stifles you. I mean, you have to be.
Miles Byrd had 3 steals in like a 38-second span at one point.
It's just like a chokehold on the opponent. Just it's so impressive to watch. So. Big one next game, right?
No, 2 games. They got one more bye game against Troy. That's a week from tomorrow.
It's hard to describe what a defense does like that does to you as an offensive player.
Oh, it's got to be the most frustrating. Can't do anything. They press. They don't press.
You can barely get the ball across half court. Yeah, and then when you do, you're like, okay, finally, we got that. We got to that checkpoint, and now we still have to try to run a set and try to get an open shot. And they've got these shot blockers. Like, we can't drive. You can't do anything.
Yep. Yeah, it was impressive. I only got to watch the first half because I had to go to some sporting event, but it was really impressive.
On the other side of the coin, what the H happened to San Diego State football?
What?
The H, yeah. What the heck happened? What the hell?
Oh, look at you.
Wow, spicy.
I mean, I wasn't expecting a runaway win. We talked last week.
You actually kind of called it.
It's not easy to win in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I was expecting a tough game, but a close game at least.
But they were favored by 6.5.
Yeah, but I was thinking, okay, this is going to be a tough game. And they show up in Honolulu, and it's raining, And, they get off to a decent start, interception, they get a field goal, they're up. And Hawaii, they stop them on 3rd and long. And they take an unsportsmanlike taunting penalty. And after that, it was like a completely different team. They could not stop Hawaii. They could not do anything on offense. It was like, what happened to the defense that was dominating every single game, every single quarter?
To give up 38 points.
They gave up 300 yards in the first half.
That's insane.
That's like 100 more almost than they're averaging per game this season. In the first half, gave up 3 touchdowns to that Harris, the receiver for Hawaii. First time they've given up a 100-yard receiver in over 20 games. I mean, nothing that they had been doing, they were able to do against Hawaii on Saturday night. It was just a brutally bad performance.
Oh, they were a 2-point favorite. Okay. Yeah, still. I mean, that's...
No, 2-point favorite. They're still 2-point. They were 5.5, 6-point favorites. They're 2-point favorites over Boise this week.
Oh.
Is in the initial line. That's this week's game coming up.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, if they play like they did, they won't even come close to beating Boise, who I think is a better team than Hawaii. They're now tied for first place with Boise. Both teams have 1 loss. So the biggest game of the season, probably the biggest game San Diego State football has played in many years, is coming up this Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium.
Yeah, it casts such a pall over that game as well. No offense to you, Paul. It casts such a pall over that game that everyone was like, we gotta sell this thing out, man. We got to get crazy. Boise State's coming in. I do think that sentiment remains. They do deserve a good crowd at Snapdragon Stadium, but it certainly was like a little bit of the air going out of the balloon a little bit.
I thought if San Diego State had won, they potentially could have been ranked yesterday.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that like College Game Day could have come to San Diego.
You're out of your mind.
Well, they're going to Pittsburgh, which is ranked 23rd in the country. They're playing Notre Dame, and they've never been to Pittsburgh before.
There was a push to get College Game Day here like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
When we had, I don't know, it was Donnell Pumphrey or Rashad Penny, one
Rashad
of the
Penny, probably.
Yeah, it was close. It was
Heisman
close. I remember
candidates,
that.
And
we had just started.
We might have.
Yeah, I think I remember this.
There were no good games in the SEC or the ACC or the Big 12. Like it was all.
It was like the perfect
bad
timing.
games, and San Diego State actually had a decent matchup. And then I think instead they were like, we're going to tour some D2 schools and show them some love in the South because we're never in the South.
Yeah. You just never go to the South.
Something weird like that. But yeah, there was like an actual shot at having College Game Day here. And I thought that will never happen again.
That's tough. That's a tough one. Is it that thing where you're looking ahead? Who knows? You just didn't play well. Denegal threw 2 picks. Didn't play well. He got beat.
He's
doors
clearly
kicked out.
not healthy completely. Yeah. He's toughing it out, but his performance seems to be deteriorating.
Yeah.
Each week a little bit more, man. Which is a bad sign. And
it's not
respect for him for going out there, but it's going to be a tough call for Sean Lewis this week. Do you go to the backup who's a little bit healthier? Or do you stick with the guy who's been so good for you in so many games, but clearly is not 100% and hasn't been 100%.
Yeah, it's just
for a couple of weeks.
Throwing shoulder.
You also were missing Johnson, your cornerback. He was out due to illness. You lost your best linebacker, Latuli, for the season last week. So maybe it's injuries catching up. Maybe it's the travel. Maybe it was the rain. Maybe it was the late start on the West Coast. Maybe it was just a combination of every factor.
Maybe it was a luau.
He said that they weren't going to do any of the Hawaii stuff. It was a business trip, hotel, stadium. That's it.
Well, maybe you should have gone and done some Hawaii stuff.
Loosened up a little bit.
Now Hawaii, who is in 3rd place, but they have the tiebreaker on San Diego State, which means if the Aztecs lose this week, they lose control of even their path to the conference championship game because Boise and Hawaii will both have control over San Diego State. So this is a absolutely immense game for Sean Lewis, for the program. I mean, if you want to build some momentum, and you did the last few weeks, you were starting to crack through the noise of everything else in San Diego. But if you lose back-to-back and you don't even make the conference championship game, welcome back to irrelevance for San Diego State football.
For sure.
I mean, you have to win this game against Boise. It's like the biggest game you've played in a decade.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, let's take a time out. We will come back. Don't Do This is next. We kind of had this debate off here. Do we talk about the Clase Ortiz scandal here? And we decided probably needs its own segment a little bit later in the show. So we're actually going to give Fernando Tatis Jr. his due credit for what happened over the weekend. And The college football catch of the
century, maybe?
Century, perhaps, that we were all just happened to be watching at the same time on Saturday around noon was absolutely incredible. We'll get to all of that coming up next after traffic here with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Quickly, gang, let me tell you about all the good work that they're doing over at QC Kinetics, as I always do. If you woke up this morning and your knees are creaking and your back is killing you, your hips hurt, your elbow, your shoulders, any of your joints right now, give my friend Dr. Jackson over at QC Kinetics a call today. Schedule a free consultation with them. It is relief is absolutely closer than you think. Doesn't have to come from a scalpel. And what if it could come from your own body's regenerative power, using natural healing factors that help restore and repair damaged tissue, reduce inflammation, and relieve pain right at its source. And again, guys, this is a simple injection. I can handle it. I can handle it. You can handle it. All right, go to QC Kinetics today. This Veterans Day, QC Kinetics giving back to our heroes. Veterans will get $500 off their treatment. And for every non-veteran, such as myself, who starts care, QC Kinetics will donate $500 to the Wounded Warrior Project. It's a great time to book your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics today at 619-614-PAIN, 619-614-PAIN. They got a couple of different locations, one in Torrey Hills and one in Hillcrest. And 619-614-PAIN is their number. Give them a call. Let them know Woodsy from 97.3 The Fan sent you, please. QC Kinetics.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Got our friend Craig Elsten coming up at the bottom of the hour. First, though, it is time for Don't Do This. It is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com.
Yes.
It's a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Now, Woodsy, you're going to start us out with a story that no one can really totally confirm, but if it's true, insane behavior.
We have entered the La Cosa Nostra portion of Major League Baseball with the fixing of games potentially, which we will talk about later. But this one was really, really interesting. So we heard about this back in July. Bryce Harper, nose to nose with Rob Manfred. You know, it's always fun when the boss comes into your locker room and says, hey, listen, we're thinking about doing some things. I know you guys have a really strong union, but, you know, I know there's this we potentially could lock out. We're going to be really doing some things for the health of the game, which means less money for you guys maybe. Nobody wants to hear it. Bryce Harper allegedly got in his face and said, I don't want to hear about any sort of salary cap. Do not come into my clubhouse talking about a salary cap. They were
get the bleep out of here.
Yeah, get the bleep out of here. They were nose to nose going at it. And Manfred said, I'm not going to get out of here right now. Harper kind of declined to comment about it after, but we heard about this. It was shocking, that part. Then there was this podcast that came out. And again, this is alleged. So listen to what this gentleman, I believe his name is Alex Cole, had to say.
Alan Walsh.
Alan
and
Walsh.
Adam Wild.
That was close.
This is alleged to what was said next.
This is great.
Harper and a few other players were now in a discussion afterwards with Manfred and some of Manfred's staff, including, I believe, the deputy commissioner who was also there. And in the course of this conversation, which also got heated, someone with Manfred, not Manfred, but somebody with him, like a deputy commissioner, said to Harper, don't ever say that again to the commissioner. Don't ever disrespect him again publicly like that. That's how people end up in a ditch. And that was never reported.
So that's the deputy, they call it a consigliere. Okay. So he comes up, he says, you don't ever disrespect the boss like that in public. That's how people end up in a ditch. I mean, we've all seen Sopranos, we've all seen The Godfather. You can't do it. But if that's
Bottom of the river.
If that's true, that is insane behavior by that guy. Insane behavior. That's how people end up in a ditch. Straight out of Sopranos. Straight out of there.
That is crazy.
I don't know, man. Like, it's oh, there it is again, Paulie. Write it down. 725 Alien. It's crazy. I mean, you can't say that.
You can't say that. First of all, Bryce Harper's not going to end up in a ditch somewhere, no matter what he says.
He keeps drinking that raw milk. He might actually. He might.
Second
not
of all,
looking great.
I could sort of see it if this was David Stern, you know, in the NBA back in the days when he was wielding his ultimate power, or maybe like Pete Rozelle back in the NFL days.
How about Roger Goodell?
Roger Goodell, even. Rob Manfred's just he's not that even inspiring of a guy. He's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer and a mouthpiece for the owners. The players are the stars of this league.
You better watch out, dude. You're going to end up in a ditch, man. Crazy.
Like, who has that much love and respect for Rob Manfred, even his own office?
Kiss ass chorus following him around. you really love Rob Manfred that much. You're gonna kill one of the stars of Major League Baseball.
The guy who called the World Series trophy a hunk of metal. You love him that much that you're gonna threaten one of the stars of baseball to end up in a ditch. All right. This is actually more of a do this than a don't do this, but we gotta call out Gus Johnson.
DD mega doo-doo.
I give him a doo-doo.
So
The catch
good.
was incredible. So Indiana, one of the few undefeated teams left. We lost another one with BYU losing to Texas Tech over the weekend. They are moments away from falling to Penn State, winless in the Big Ten this year against the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers. But they're trailing in Happy Valley 24-20 in the final minute of the game. But they got the ball. They're driving down. think it's like third. They get stopped on first and second down. Their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, Heisman Trophy candidate, having an amazing season, is getting rushed from everywhere. Heaves up a pass to the back of the end zone where Omar Cooper Jr. I'm watching this in real time going, I don't know how he caught that, but he didn't stay in bounds.
He's out of bounds.
There's no way he came. There's no way he came down in bounds.
It's 1 foot, right? Is it one?
You only need 1 foot.
foot.
I think he got both of them in, actually. It was one of the greatest catches I have ever seen.
Ever.
And it wins the game for Indiana. I was watching without sound, though, at the time. Then later, I got to hear Gus Johnson's call. And Gus Johnson, who is
what happened?
The biggest yeller, sportscaster, but most enthusiastic guy, he overloaded finally. It was just too much for Gus.
It was too good.
This is what it sounded like on Fox, Big Noon, Saturday.
Mendoza in trouble! It's out! Touchdown! Wow! Oh, wow, cool play! Unbelievable! Give him the Heisman Trophy now!
There's that one part, and he just melts down.
Oh, wow, cool play! Unbelievable!
Omar
Cooper!
Oh, I thought he said "Ara Coldplay." Listen to it again. You tell-
Omar Coldplay!
Ara Coldplay.
Ara Coldplay.
Omar Coldplay!
Yeah.
Unbelievable! Give him the Heisman Trophy now!
Sounds like he's hammered. I mean, he sounds like he's Heisman Trophy. He was crying. Was he crying? Somebody said he's crying.
Mendoza in trouble! It's out! Touchdown! Wow! Oh, wow, Coldplay! Unbelievable! Give him the Heisman Trophy now!
I've never heard anything like that. That's going into the tournament of drops. So, which part though?
Oh, wow, Coldplay!
Yeah, that's it. All right, Coldplay. It's brilliant. He totally lost it. He just, like you said, he was buffering. He just never caught up. He just snapped.
I guess he's an acquired taste. I
love
when
Gus
Gus Johnson's
Johnson
on the call. It just feels like a fun big game, and I can't get enough of that.
He's probably listening back, going, "What did I do?"
He was looking. He was looking for that last level of excitement that he's never reached.
Yeah,
he's always at 11, and he was looking for 12, and it just wasn't there.
He was down to like a 4.
These only go to 11. Tell me that's not our Coldplay.
I can't unhear that now. But the kid's name is Omar Cooper.
Yeah.
Omar Cooper!
It's not even close. It's not even close to Omar Cooper. It's not even close.
Wow. Yeah, I legitimately thought, I was like, that's one of the great. I know it just happened. Am I living too in the moment? I'm like, that's one of the greatest catches I've ever seen.
In the the scenario of the game, everything, they're about to lose. Their undefeated record is gone at Penn State. Like, there's just no way you could lose that game. And SOB, if he didn't make one of the most spectacular,
he gets up so high to make the catch. How does he get his feet down? He looks like he's going to land about 3 yards out of bounds when he comes. I mean, there's just no way.
He's practically parallel to the turf when he catches it, and he somehow
gets that toe in,
maneuvers his body, controls.
He's
his
6 feet off the ground, man. I mean, it's just insane.
His head almost hit the crossbar.
Yeah, it really did.
His helmet almost hit the bottom of the crossbar. Which is hanging over the end zone line, which means there's no way you can get your feet down there.
I did see it live, and the first thing I thought was when he made that catch, and they called it
like always.
You know, me always. We got one more. Do this.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
And of course, it goes to our right fielder, Fernando Tatis Jr. with his second, platinum glove. And I'll tell you, the salty Chicago tears and the salty San Francisco tears, I mean, they were up in arms about Fernando Tatis Jr. winning this platinum glove over PCA and over Patrick Bailey. Yes. Oh my God.
How can you be that mad about it?
They were.
What were the arguments?
Furious. Well, there's part of it that's a fan vote, right? So that's number one. Which, again, you're San Francisco and Chicago. Vote
Why
more.
would they think Fernando Tatis Jr. is undeserving of the award? Did they see him rob
6 home runs? Yeah, whatever.
Home runs or whatever it is. And I mean, his metrics were
so here's the funny
right there
thing.
with those guys.
They're a little higher, those guys' metrics, especially PCA. But I will say this. What doesn't show up in the defensive metrics is the guy that hits that ball into the gap and goes, that used to be a double. I'm not going to even try on that. Like, it's not, they don't tell the entire story. But again, I think it was the fan vote aspect of it that bothered them the most. But you're in Chicago and you're in San Francisco. Vote more. What do you want me to tell you? Like, he's absolutely electric right fielder. The best in the game, as evidenced by another platinum glove. So, hey, man. Small victories for we Padres fans. So we take them where we can get them, and that is a big one.
And he was in New York for the award ceremony from Rawlings.
I saw the announcement at like 11 p.m.
It was late. Yeah, I didn't even
Friday
see it
night.
until Saturday. I was like, oh, did they do this? When I thought they were going to do it, and I totally missed it.
Yeah, I thought that too, and it did
Way
come
to go,
out.
MLB.
Yeah, just crushed it as usual.
Well, that's a Rawlings thing, not an MLB thing. I
You
guess.
say that again, that's how you end up in a ditch.
That's true. And that's don't and do this for a Monday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The
I
Fan.
think T. Stevens in the chat nails it. Gus Johnson was trying to hit the next level like that singer we play on the holiday extravaganza. Oh, Holy Night Guy.
Yeah, a holy night guy.
He was trying to hit there, and he just didn't have it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Divine. Yeah.
Yeah.
You reach down deep, and if it hits, you're a hero. If it's brilliant.
All right, we'll come back.
keep
Craig
that
Elsten,
forever.
the Crow-maniac, will join us with his thoughts and a look ahead to the next big playoff matchup for SDFC and what he thinks about Craig Stammen as the new manager of the Padres. Shares a first name with him, so
That's Craig Day.
that's one thing he's got in his favor already. That is coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, Ben here for Prize Picks. Prize Picks is my daily fantasy spot that you can play it as well. You're just picking against numbers, more or less, on stat projections from your favorite players in pro basketball, college basketball right now, soccer. I played last night with the playoff game. You can do, of course, football, college, and pro over the weekend. There's pretty much games every night. If you're watching sports, you can be playing along with Prize Picks, where you're picking, again, between 2 and 6 players in your lineup. The more you put together, the more you can win. Or if you want to keep it at 2 or 3, you can go a little more conservative. You can also play with a flex play, which is the opposite of a power play. Power play, you need to get them all right, you win more. Flex play, you can miss one. Like you could put 5 in a lineup, you get 4 right, you can still win on Prize Picks with the flex play. So there's many different ways to play, but it's all definitely the starts by downloading the app and using the code KWFN to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That's code KWFN to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Check it out today. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? This spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
This hour 97 through the fan is brought to you by SD Collectibles. Get ready, sports and Pokemon collectors. SD Collectibles Card Show is back at Liberty Station with over 100 vendor tables. November 22nd and 23rd. Find sports cards, Pokemon, memorabilia, and more. Visit sdcollectibles.com for info. That's sdcollectibles.com. I see Craig Elsten standing by in our video stream. He will join us with all the reaction from last night's 4-0 win over Portland at Snapdragon Stadium after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Just a couple things to mention here, guys. Looks like a crash has cleared on eastbound King Freeway at the 125 connector ramp, but we still have some activity on the Otay Lakes off-ramp southbound 125. Apparently, lamppost got knocked down in that solo vehicle accident a little while ago. An important reminder about the upcoming holiday, whether it's a big road trip or just braving LA traffic to see the family for Thanksgiving. Make sure your car's ready with Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. No appointment needed. Find your nearest location and grab money-saving coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And joining us right now on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline, the Crow Maniac himself, Craig Elsten. That was spectacular last night, Craig. Just watching it from home, you could just feel the energy coming from Snapdragon Stadium.
You know what I loved the most about it, and good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Was the partial, at least temporary, perhaps, exercising of San Diego sports demons.
Yes, I said the same thing.
Out in the purple lot, the tailgate lot, the fog started to roll in as the sun went down, and it started to get a little foggy and a little gloomy. And I heard multiple people, dear friends of mine, that were like, uh-oh, I don't like the look of this.
Yes.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's fog. It's Mission Valley.
No, it's a harbinger of things to come, Craig. That's what it is.
Literally, like San Diego veteran sports fans will reach for any little piece of mysticism to prove that they are doomed to fail. And I know, and we talked about it on Cromaniac's post-match last night, that there's some I don't want to say anti-soccer fans, people who don't care about soccer that were really looking forward to this morning to say, oh, look at you, SDFC, one of us. You dropped a big playoff game. Now you're in the same sad sack as the Chargers. I'm like, keep that name out your mouth. SDFC rolls 4-0, scores in the 5th minute, and never looks back.
Never. It was a spectacular game, and you get that early goal, and then that save that was made. That was, look, there's definitely some skill involved, but it was rolling their way last night. But the ball off the chest that damn near snuck in, and the keeper's right there to save it, Craig. That could have been a game changer. There was a couple of other ones, like a total missed opportunity by Portland, but they just got outplayed. I mean, honestly, it could have been 8-0. I mean, or 8-2 at best. They just dominated them last night from the whistle.
Yeah, and for Pablo Cisniega, who is stepping in as the starting goalkeeper for SDFC because of the broken cheekbone for CJ Dos Santos, almost undoubtedly he's out for the rest of the playoff. To see the way that Cisniega responded, but I also really have to talk about the young back line of SDFC. Of all the things that Mikey Varas has done this year, I think maybe the most daring is to send off a veteran Jesper Loffelsen, to send Franco Negri to the bench, to send Patty McNair to the bench, and to start 18-year-old kids, Luca Bombino, Ian Pilcher, Mano Dua. Those guys on the back line have done the job. They've been tested, they've been pressured, and boy, did they deliver last night.
Bombino looks like a child, and he plays like a man. He looks like a child. I mean, I watched him, I was like, kid 14 years old? He's got baby face out there just crushing souls. It was physical, Craig. It got physical. I think SDFC obviously held their own. They imposed their will. It was spectacular, but I can't deny, man. I looked at my wife before we got the kids kind of settled in, and I said, all right, let's put this thing on. And I go, oh man, that feeling, because last week was such a heartbreak. You're like, this is setting up, and Anders Dreyer just alleviates all of that 5 minutes in. It was beautiful.
When Dreyer scores, now SDFC is 15 wins, 1 draw, no losses. So he is the talisman of the team.
Yeah.
When Dreyer scores, it's like, okay, and literally, I'm in the North End, we're all going crazy, but we're 5 minutes in and Dreyer scores. I'm like, there it is. Never mind the fog rolling in. Dreyer has rolled in a ball into the net. That's your sign. SDFC is going to roll.
Craig, give me your thoughts on here. This is my layman's soccer analysis. Mikey Varas comes in, sets a culture. He wants the team to play, a certain style. And they, for the most part, have all season long. Control the ball, patience but aggressive, trying to add on when they have the opportunity. And I think it's been great. I worried sometimes that Mikey also can be a little stubborn about it as well. And in this match, I thought they adjusted a little bit after the loss in Portland, that they got a little more aggressive with the long balls, looking for opportunities as opposed to just controlling the possession. They were actually, all right, you know what? If you're going to do this and you're thinking we're going to do this, we're going to zag a little bit when you think we're going to zig. Did you see any of that last night?
A little bit for sure. And keep in mind, this was the 5th time in 10 matches that SDFC and Portland played, because they had their 2 matches came late in the regular season against one another. They were the last team on their schedule that SDFC faced this year. And then all of a sudden you play them 3 straight times in the playoffs, 4 straight times overall. So adjustments absolutely were made. And one thing as well, CJ Dos Santos is a goalkeeper that SDFC feels very comfortable playing the ball through him and building out through his feet. Whereas Cisniega is much more of a guy who's going to send the ball long forward, and they're not going to look to use the keeper for possession. So I think that's a part of it too, Ben, is just changing personnel in the net.
So next up is Minnesota United. Give us your early thoughts. They announced it's going to be Monday Night Football at Snapdragon Stadium 2 weeks from today, 7 o'clock. I'm imagining another sellout is going to happen. We saw Minnesota, obviously, not that long ago, I believe, in the regular season as well. It's a clash in styles, if I remember your analysis last time correctly.
100%. Guys, Minnesota is Portland plus. And what I mean by that is that they're going to have essentially the same game plan as Timbers, but they have better players to execute it better. And what I mean by that is Minnesota is extraordinarily comfortable, probably the most comfortable team in MLS to play without the ball. They just don't care if they have the ball. They're happy to defend. They're happy to defend and defend and defend and defend. They've got the best goalkeeper in the league, Dane St. Clair, who won Best 11, won Goalkeeper of the Year this year, who made 12 saves against SDFC at Snapdragon Stadium when the Loons came in and got a result out of here. So they know what SDFC is going to do. They're happy to let them do it. And they are counting on their goalkeeper coming up strong, their defense coming up strong, and for SDFC to press, and have that one moment of weakness where they make a mistake, where one guy gets out of position, and then you get down the field, and Minnesota is the number 1 team in the league in set-piece goals. Wow. So that's what they're looking to do, is they're looking to get a corner, they're looking to get a direct kick from 20 yards out, and they're looking to take advantage of that at some point in the second half. That's the Minnesota game plan. It's not dissimilar from the Portland game plan, and so it's going to be a real test for SDFC, but they get to be the progressive team with the ball on their foot, going forward, attacking at home in front of 32,500. I do like the progressive team over the team that's sitting back historically, and I'm going to take that side again this time.
Already can't wait, man. 2 weeks from today, Snapdragon Stadium. Our pal Craig Elsten joins us now. He'll join us that day, and then we'll talk to you following that, hopefully win, and talking about the next one, Craiger. But we're heading down here in a couple hours to go again to welcome a new Padres manager, your name brother, Craig Stammen. Your thoughts on Craig Stammen? How are you feeling about it? Anything, people keep asking us, what do you want to hear today? I'm like, I really, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't hear anything till spring training, but that's the way that they do things in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I'm in favor of Craig's attaining positions of power and influence.
Yes.
So I'm certainly happy about that, just from a Craig standpoint.
More Craigs, the better.
More Craigs, yes, absolutely. We Craigs got to stick together. 100%. There's not too many of us, and we need to be, uniform. But I think, like everybody else, I was gobsmacked when the announcement was made, because here are my number 1, number 2 takeaways from this. I don't know what Craig Stammen's going to be as a manager. Nobody does. Not AJ Preller doesn't know. Craig Stammen doesn't know, right? Because Craig Stammen has never managed a game ever. So, it's not even I've managed 1,000 in my head. He's not done it. So we don't know. But here's what I do feel like I know. AJ Preller is in charge of the San Diego Padres.
Sure.
Don't think otherwise. You don't make this move if you are a GM hanging on to your job by a thread. That just doesn't happen if you go all the way out on a limb to pick Craig Stammen. Second, maybe that limb's pretty thick. This has been the trend in Major League Baseball of late, is taking people who have played the game recently and boom, wrapping them into the clubhouse. I mean, Aaron Boone had never coached or managed a professional game in his life. He took the Yankees to the World Series, obviously. I'm sure some Yankees fans don't love him. He's done a good job. So I don't think the limb is all that thin that AJ Preller went out on. And that just leads to the third thing, which is that Albert Pujols he interviewed for 3 managerial spots and he didn't get any of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's really telling. And it might be telling of what Pujols wanted to bring in terms of, hey, this is going to be my salary. This is going to be my staff. This is going to be do. And I think after 4 years and 2 managers of a little bit of clash, I think AJ's not into that right now. He's looking for some streamlining between front office and the manager's office. And I think with Craig Stammen, he's going to get it. So I'm going to keep a really open mind to this. I think Stammen potentially could be an incredible hire for San Diego. And the people who immediately jumped up to write, this is dumb and this is wrong, I just don't get where you're coming from, because I don't know what the alternative was that was obviously better.
Right. The obvious one. Correct.
Right. Craig, good stuff as always. Hopefully a couple of weeks we have a build up for this next game, but love to see this playoff run continue for SDFC. Thank you as always.
All right, boys. Talk to you next week.
Thanks, buddy.
Hi, Craig Elsten appearing on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Since 2010, visit davidpshapirolaw.com. You tweeted it out. I said it last week on the show. Everyone is saying it's just another yes man manager for the Padres. Yeah. Exactly. What?
Correct.
Do you want someone who's going to disagree with everything the front office wants to do? Does that make any sense?
It's not even that. That's such an extreme way to look at it. That's an extreme way to look at it. But the alignment that Craig was talking about, yep, it's important. Again, I'm going to beat this thing to death. The communication is really key, and he's a really good communicator. And that's really a big
he'll
portion
communicate
of it.
with AJ.
Yeah.
If he disagrees, he will tell AJ why. I mean, he's a good communicator. I just don't totally get the this hire, is just
Like
a puppet for AJ Preller.
Jace Tingler made no sense to me. Zero. This makes some sense. We'll see.
We'll continue
Wins
to
and
discuss
losses,
it,
baby.
heading toward the press conference at 10 here on 97.3 The Fan.
Halfway home on a Monday, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Thanks so much for being here with us. However you choose to consume Ben and Woods, we appreciate it very, very, very much. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive producer of the program. Headphoneless Ben Higgins is punching up an email right now. Who are you punching up an email to?
Talking about the press conference. I've got to coordinate 2 jobs. I got live shots for TV. I got hosting for here. Just making sure everyone gets in that needs to get into the press conference. Because you mentioned credential during the break. And I thought, got to make sure my photog for Channel 10
it's credentialed.
Can get in as well.
Does he want to borrow mine? I can just give you mine. You bring it down to him.
You want to be there.
I'll listen. I've been to these. I've been to a few of these.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're all different because it's a different manager.
Oh, okay. What number will he wear?
They're kind of the same, though.
They are. They are. Yeah, it'd be fun to see Jesse. And
what number did Stammen wear?
He was 34. That was Michael
right.
King. He's not here anymore.
Yeah, 34.
Yeah. So we'll go to that at 10. What do you reckon? How long?
50 minutes.
50. Okay.
That's my guess.
All right.
Like 10 minutes of opening statements. AJ says something. I assume AJ's there.
I assume it's the general managers meetings in Vegas. So he'll probably just jam.
Maybe it's
right
like the
after.
Oscars. Hey, he couldn't be here. He did prepare this
A
message,
video
though.
statement?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. That'd be great. I had an incident this morning. I would just ask you if my eye is irritated. This one. I had a Reese Dixon Waters moment this morning. He woke up and he didn't know what had happened to his eye. I know exactly what happened to my eye this morning at 2:45 a.m. when I got into the shower. Woke up at 2:30, couldn't go back to sleep. So I have this face wash. It's called Harry's. Do you guys ever use Harry's products?
I don't know that I've ever used them, but I know I'm familiar with them.
Yeah. So it's a Harry's.
The razors too.
Yeah. So I have this, exfoliating face wash. And I go to exfoliate my face in the morning. It's menthol. It's like wintergreen. But I got some of it in my eye.
Ooh.
And it's a piece of, I looked on the label. It says it's volcanic rock.
Really?
I'm guessing that it's not. My guess is that it's not real volcanic rock that is in there, right?
Could be some sort of, former lava flow that is now in your eye.
But I put it in there, and I had mistakenly got it in. There was one chunk of alleged volcanic rock with the searing feeling of menthol. Like somebody crushed up like wintergreen juice and put it in my eye, like as an eye drop.
In a rock form.
In a rock form. It was pumice. Yes.
Yeah.
And it hurt so bad that I had to open my eye into the eco water and let the eco water try to clean my eye out. I had to flip my eyelid like this.
Ooh,
right?
I hate that.
I had
Don't
to
do
flip my eyelid and dig around in there under the water to see
Don't do that.
if there was something in there. And it's very irritated. Then I had to get out, put Visine in it to try, and which felt like pouring gasoline into it. So that's how I started my Monday today. It wasn't great.
Don't you feel like perhaps you've gone too far in your regiment?
No, because I do it every day.
Your beauty care regimen, if it's actually doing damage to you.
It's only if you make a mistake, then it's too far. But you don't exfoliate your face?
No.
You should. Paul, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to exfoliate, bro.
I just have years and years of skin built up on my face.
Skin. You need to get that dead skin off.
My face looks similar to your guys' faces.
Yeah, you think that, but so one eye, my left eye is just searing with pain.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
Nothing I can do about it. Literally nothing I can do about it. So it's been quite a month. I woke up this morning at 2:30 and I went, do they need me there? Do I have to be presser? And then I thought, all right, I'll just go.
The last thing you want is for Craig Stammen to look out to the
And
audience
I'm not
and go,
there.
Where's Woods?
He has no idea who we are. None.
He's been on our show before.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
Oh.
Long ago, but we've had him on.
We have?
Yes. Absolutely.
Is that true, Paulie?
I actually don't know.
I think it's
I think
true.
you're full of it,
I
dude.
think it's true.
I can find out.
So Cole says your skin actually looks better than mine. Yeah. I mean, you didn't suck down Marlboros and whiskeys and everything else for many years. That's why I have to exfoliate.
I have no Craig Stammen in my Ben and Woods.
We've never had Craig
records.
on. I mean, I've talked to him certainly Channel 10 a couple of times, I think, but
Well, we'll get our chance, certainly. I'd like to get to know the manager, not in a press conference sort of way. I'd like to have him in, sit down, chew the fat with him. I know he's a good golfer. Well, he was a good golfer. If he's still a good golfer in a year, we've got a problem. We have a huge problem on our hands. I'm going to tell him that.
Hope he
too.
never
not
plays
a
another
job.
round.
Not a job that's conducive to keeping your handicap low.
No. The only way to keep your handicap low is by practicing. You can't practice. Guess what? You have to be there 12, 13, 4 longer maybe hours a day.
There's not enough time, even at a night game, to get in around an 18 in the morning.
No.
Because you can't just show up at noon.
Could you get
1 o'clock?
if you teed off at 6
and finished at 10 and got there at 10:30 or 11? I just don't think so. I mean, Schilt was there like at 9 a.m. I think most days for a night game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know Craig has a family. He's got young kids, I do believe. He's only 41 years old. He's got younger kids, youngish kids. Work-life balance is important. Now, with San Diego Padres, it could be important to you, but how important is it? I do think, though, you may have to put golf on the back burner if you're Craig Stammen. As much as you don't want to. I mean, he's like a 0.4 handicap. You can look it up. He's a scratch golfer, meaning when he goes out and shoots, the average is 72. That's how good that dude is. I'm going to need his handicap to be I need it to be +7. No, -7 by the end of the year. If he's still at a point, we're going to look too, because you can look it up. It's public knowledge.
Well, it won't change because if he's not playing, the handicap won't change.
But if his handicap changes, what if he got better? We're losing games and he's a -4 now. Then we have a problem. So somebody's always watching Craig. That's the other thing.
Very naturally athletic and gifted, as so many professional athletes are.
That may be the case. But I'm gonna need his golf game to really, really get worse. But yeah, we will be down there today. Not gonna ask any questions. I'm tired. Eyes hurts. I'm tired from the long weekend.
Fair enough.
Do you have to get any direct questions asked?
I do
Channel
not.
10?
I do not. If something I feel like is important that I want to ask, I'm not afraid to raise my hand. But
we've been to 4 of these, and you've never asked one.
I don't have any.
You also never ask any questions in the on. What do you call them? The Zooms. Never. You've never asked a question in there. Never.
Most questions that I'm thinking of, I tend to believe are going to be asked by someone, and I don't feel like I need to be the one who asks it.
Okay.
Isn't that just ego? Ego?
If you did have a question, do you raise your hand? Ben Higgins, Channel 10, or Ben Higgins?
Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
I would go through the whole litany.
The whole list?
The whole litany. Ben Higgins.
I don't believe you.
97.3 The Fan. Ben and Woods, sports director, ABC Channel 10.
You should. I don't believe you, though.
4 handicap? 5 handicap.
5 handicap.
5 handicap.
Not as good as Craig Stammen now, but hopefully better
you guys
than
are
Craig
dead
Stammen
even
by the end of the year, next year.
Yes. I'd like you to ask a question today. If something springs to me. I'm not going to force you. You forced me last year.
No, and I did, which was fun. I
enjoyed
watching. But I'm also hoping that we have a more, as you said, intimate chance to interview Craig Stammen on this program. I think I'm going to save my good questions for that interview.
Very convenient.
And not share them with the entire
rest of everyone
of San Diego
in the media.
You ask a question in a press conference, everybody can use that answer.
That's right.
You ask it here,
it's
just
ours.
for us.
Yeah.
It's ours.
People still use it. They play the audio and stuff.
And we do the same thing.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fair. Well, we will be down there at 10 o'clock, ready to roll.
Wanted to thank Craig Elsten again for joining us. Didn't have time at the end to ask Crossing Streams, Craig, but I watched the new show that debuted on Apple this week.
Pluribus.
Okay. Haven't started it. Heard nothing but good things.
He agreed. We both think it's fantastic. Now, we are kind of designed to like it. It's created by Vince Gilligan, who did Breaking Bad.
From Gilligan's Island.
Better Call Saul now.
He's
creator of both of our favorite television shows of all time.
Love Breaking Bad.
Stars Ray Seahorn, who played Kim Wexler on
was
Better
Jason
Call.
Seahorn's
was
brother.
not related to Jason Seahorn at all.
All right.
And it's also a little it's a lot science fiction-y as well, which I wonder whether that's going to be a problem for Woods.
It is.
It's not believable, but it's real. It's set like on Earth, and
Every Apple TV show
yeah
that comes out, I'm like, ooh, what's this? They're like a dystopian world where I'm like, give me a crime thriller or a psychological thriller.
They kept all the details under wraps until it debuted this week. Like almost nothing was revealed about what the show is about.
Trust
so I'm
me,
not going to give it. I'm not going to give anything away.
I read the blurb about it and watched the trailer, and I still don't know what the show's about.
The premise is wild, though. It's wild.
Sci-fi premise, but it's so much more. All right, I'm going to give it a shot. Because I have heard and saw nothing but great things about it. Like the show that was out, what's the one with the Philly guy, Paulie? The Task. Really enjoyed that.
Watching that one too.
Really enjoyed it. The realism.
That's very real. That's
very
real.
That's
as far from sci-fi as you can
Correct. Get. So that's more my jam. Look, I wish I liked sci-fi stuff because it limits me on what I can and can't watch. I mean, there was a couple like, was it Silo? It was on Apple TV. I think it was called Silo. I watched a couple. I was like,
I'm always way late to the scene on those movies. Like 5 or 10 years later, I'll finally feel like I have the time because I like the movies that have like a bit of a mind F. And,
psychological stuff.
You gotta be devoted. You gotta like have the time. Usually I'll watch it twice. Like I watched Interstellar. It was like 10 years after the movie came out.
Are there aliens in it? Pluribus?
No.
Okay.
At least not yet. There's only been 2 episodes.
Okay.
No aliens, at least that we see.
I heard it's great.
I think it's fantastic so far.
Well, that means I'll probably hate it.
It's true.
You like a Nickelback song or two?
It's true. I do.
Well, so.
I do. You like Breaking Bad, right?
Love Breaking Bad. I didn't know that was his
same guy.
His, he was into that. It's like those Taylor Sheridan shows. You've seen one, you've seen them all. At this point, like, we got a new one coming out. I'm like, let me guess, an oil man does this, and there's a woman in it who drinks too much. It's like it's the same show every time.
We do go back to Albuquerque. That's about the only thing that's similar, and then the fact that Kim Wexler, Ray Seahorn, is in the show as well.
Yeah,
other than that, very different.
Dominic nails it here, and it's like my greatest flaw. He says, not liking sci-fi and more real crime stuff, it baffles me that he can't get into The Wire. And buddy, every year we talk about this. No one has tried harder, and I mean no one on the planet has watched season 1 of The Wire more than your old pal Woodsy. No one.
You watch it and go, what is wrong with me?
Yes. It's like I watch it and I'm like, I want to love it and I can't. It's like the perfect woman. It's right in front of me. I'm like, you are everything I've ever wanted. I feel nothing. Inside. It's the weirdest feeling on the planet, Ben. Because everyone's like, you're going to love it. I'm like, okay, I'm in. And I sit. I've tried it laying in bed. I've tried it sitting up in a chair. I've tried it on a plane. I've tried it on a trip. I've tried it on a train in England.
This is like green eggs and ham.
I just can't
I do not like The Wire, Sam. I do not like it. I do not like it on a train. I do not like it on a plane.
I do not like it in a bed. I do not like it wearing red. I've tried it's so hard for me too, because like the radio show I used to listen to in Dallas, they would spend hours talking about it. And I'm like, it just doesn't.
Like Dune, I wouldn't even ask you to watch that.
No,
I would not ask you to watch anything like that. I do think you're going to like Pluribus, at least based on what I've seen so far, and I think you should give it a chance.
I will. It makes me sick. Trust me. The Wire is like my great white whale, man. I just can't do it. I've tried. I don't know if it's the actors, if it's the accent, if it's the music in the background. I have no idea what it is. It just never connected, man. Never connected.
Just find it somewhat off-putting.
It's
like a bad smell.
Did you try to start from the beginning every time?
Probably
have
you
jumped into the middle?
Every single time. Now, The Shield, I did watch The Shield. That got out of control. Like it was a reality show. Like it was based in reality, but it got so over the top that I was like, all right, it's too much. But I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. And it breaks my heart, actually. Like it makes me, I don't hate on it. I don't hate on it. I actually want to love it more than anything on the planet. I just can't.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Quickly, an important message here from 97.3 The Fan. This holiday season, too many San Diegans will go hungry. Join The Fan and support the San Diego Food Bank. Donate food directly online through our Odyssey San Diego Food Fund, where every donation helps feed local families. Go to 973thefansd.com and give today. We'll come back, play a little Take on Woods to start our week. If you'd like to be our contestant, qualify for the trip to see Sammy Hagar in Las Vegas, 833-288-0973, our musical trivia challenge. Coming up next, 833-288-0973. We'll get to that coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
First, Woods and I telling about our favorite card room, 7 Mile Casino. So easy to get to, but it really is when you walk in that it dawns on you and you go, oh, this place is fantastic.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Don't judge a book by its cover, they say, right? And I drove past it a million times. Was like, I don't know. Walked inside and went, oh, all right. Now I get it. And sat down that day. We had some lunch. Played a little bit of California-style blackjack, but there's the Texas Hold'em area, the Pai Gow, the Baccarat. It's condensed. It's not massive, but it's still plenty big for you to accomplish what you need to accomplish.
It's not cramped.
No.
Yeah, it's just perfect. They got windows. It's light. It's airy. You feel like you're going out to a nice restaurant with friends, but it also has cards, which is just amazing. They've got a beautiful patio. It overlooks San Diego Bay. Beautiful views, and you can just enjoy it. And if it's cooler, they've got heaters out there as well, or enjoy the full bar at Sammy's. They got TVs all throughout the card room. So if there's games on, you can be watching them while you're playing cards. They take care of their high limit players. They look in spreading high limit action, whether it's Texas Hold'em or California style blackjack. So many reasons to head on down there, Woods.
Check it out for yourself, my friends. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Okay, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
People are coming out of the walls, and they're not at me. They're just giving me recommendations.
Like other show recommendations,
No,
or how
like
to
how
watch
to
The
watch
Wire?
The Wire. And I promised them, I said, look, when we finish up for the year, I have a couple weeks off or whatever. One final ride. One final attempt. And maybe, just maybe it was turning 50 that needed to happen to me. Maybe I now understand it.
It's a post 50 show.
Shows that have like that big of a following. I bet you can find like a subreddit or a fan blog or
for
something.
Sure.
Like the best way to navigate through the season. Maybe it's like, hey, start with this episode, skip these two, move on to this one.
But see, I can't do that. I have to watch them all. I have to watch them all.
We got to get you you got to get
like a
in.
Cliff's Notes version of it. I don't need that.
I saw comments like, oh, it doesn't really kick in until season 2 or 3.
They're like, hey man, just get through the first.
Like the first time I tried watching Sopranos, I was like, the first season was really tough to get through.
So good.
It was
God,
it was
good.
slow.
It's so not slow.
It was all the therapy scenes in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, this one's like, hey man, get through the first season. Admittedly, also the second season, and then it really starts to crank up. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to do it again. One final ride, one final attempt. And after this one, I'm never going to try it again.
I think you've given it so many tries. But
like, Ben, when I say easily a dozen tries, easily. And there's a couple episodes I enjoyed and a couple characters I enjoyed. But I just, for whatever reason, it didn't click.
I don't disagree with you. I tried, I think once or twice starting, and I
For The Wire?
I couldn't get into it, but it's less my genre than yours.
It's totally
so,
my genre.
Yeah,
it's totally.
your
It's like
genre.
a new mob series coming out. I'm like, I don't like it.
Perfect show.
Yeah.
You would think, but
We'll try it again. One final ride. I'll
All
take
right.
you guys along.
We got a contestant on the line.
Yep.
Let's get to it. First game of the week. It is time to take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Bay Alarms, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you, and we got Scott today. Hello, Scott. How are you?
Hi, Ben. How you doing?
I'm good. Let's see if we can get you qualified for the grand prize. It is a trip for two to Las Vegas to see Sammy Hagar at the Dolby Live at Park MGM on March 20th. A 2-night stay at Park MGM and a $100 gas card. Sammy Hagar back in Vegas with his Best of All Worlds Las Vegas residency. You can get your tickets by going to Ticketmaster.com, or you can win them here with one of these three categories. We've got Bye, 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 5 song titles and artists that are essentially blank by blank. The second word is by. Where's the Fire? 5 musical answers, song titles and bands with the word fire. And our new category, Long Weekend, 5 songs that feature either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday in the title. Bye, 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 Where's the Fire, or Long Weekend. Scott, what would you like to play?
Let's do the Long Weekend.
Long Weekend. All right, go with the new category today. Again, it is 5 songs that feature either the word Friday, Saturday, or Sunday in the title. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many of the 5 as you can. If you don't know one, say pass. We'll go back to it if there's time left on the clock at the end. First question's the 2-second song. Paulie is queuing it up now. You need to give me both the song title and the artist to score that point. Scott, are you ready to play?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Paulie, you good to go? All right. Scott, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Again, the category is Long Weekend. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Oh, hang on.
Hold on. All right.
There we go.
Stop the clock. All right. Here we go. Let's go.
Ready?
Let's take on Woods.
It's Sunday, Bloody Sunday by U2.
Correct. The Bay City Rollers spell out the name of their favorite time of the week in which 70s hit.
SATURDAY night.
Correct. Monday's Blue, Tuesday's Gray, and Wednesday too, in which 1992 hit for The Cure.
Friday, I'm in Love.
Correct. Chicago sings, I think it was the 4th of July, in which 1972.
Saturday in the Park.
Correct. The Commodores were talking about what in their 1977 song Easy? It's also the title of a successful single from Maroon
Easy like
5.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. That was as fast
Damn.
as we've ever had from a contestant. Congratulations, Scott. Nominate him for the Hall of Fame. I know he's done that a couple of times before. All right, you're into the drawing. Let's see if Woods can match you a 5 for 5 in the same category of Long Weekend. All right, Scott's score is locked in. Woods, same 60 seconds, same 5 questions. He'll have to figure out the category as he goes.
Okay.
60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Scott.
That is Sunday, Bloody Sunday by U2.
Correct. The Bay City Rollers spell out the name of their favorite time of the week.
Saturday night?
Correct. Monday's Blue, Tuesday's Gray, and Wednesday too, in which 1990 hit for The Cure.
Friday, I'm in Love.
Correct. Chicago sings, I think it was the 4th of
Saturday
July.
in the Park.
Correct. The Commodores were talking about what in their 1977 song Easy?
Sunday morning.
That is correct. Right. I don't know. The time was. Scott also got 5 out of 5.
It was really close.
That was one of the fastest games for both of you I think we've ever played. The category? Long Weekend.
So
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So I was going to start firing off those answers much earlier, but I learned from my mistake last week, and I felt like listening more.
I mean, we'd have to go back and like time it, but you both took less than half the time necessary to get all 5. That was one of the best overall games we've ever seen play.
5 on 5, and he crushed it too.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Into the drawing, but you did just as well without the category. So well done, both of you.
Thank
today
you. Good
to
job,
start
Scott.
The week. All right, let's
take a tie these days, bro. I will
let's take a timeout. When we come back, I'm running out of Padres Smorgasbord topics. But
it's like a real smorgasbord without any food.
But today we can discuss the Craig Stammen news conference that's coming up at 10. And there is one thing.
Have we already done that?
There's one thing. No, I've saved one part.
Oh, you saved a nugget.
There's one thing I do want to hear his answer to today. And I assume I won't have to ask the question. That'll be answered anyway. But it's the one thing that's going to have my ears perked up for the press conference today. And we'll do that coming up in our Padres Smorgasbord here next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, it is November, but it's not too late for you to be a brand new you at the start of the new year. If you started the SD Fat Loss program today, you'll be almost done by the time the new year rolls around. You may be down 15, 20, 25 pounds because you can lose up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight thanks to sdfatloss.com. Losing weight fast and naturally, with no injections, no exercise necessary either, and you're eating foods from the grocery store and restaurants. Regular food, no shakes or bars, nothing extra to buy from sdfatloss.com. And I believe right now, starting today, $400 off for their holiday special. I don't remember ever offering such a discount for sdfatloss.com. There are limited spots, though. They can't give everybody $400 off. So if you were thinking about it, now is the time to act and go to sdfatloss.com to set up your free consultation and find out how you can supercharge your metabolism just by following your coach and counselor's advice, eating at the right times and the right portions, and lose the weight fast and sustainably. I've kept my weight off for over 2 years. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. I have kept that weight off. You're next. By going to sdfatloss.com, take advantage of the holiday special at sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort. Now open.
It's trade Fernando Tatis Jr. season. Did you see that?
Bob Nightingale,
every
USA
year,
Today.
This dude's been trying to trade Fernando for 5, 6, 7 years now.
Still never heard a great argument as to why they would trade Fernando Tatis Jr.
You know, when I have a really good player that's locked up under a pretty decent contract, I need to get rid of him ASAP. You know, that's how I like to run my business. Like on T-ball, my really good player, I just want to go play for another team. I don't want him to play for my team. I would like him to go play for my buddy's team. What are we doing here? Every year they're trying to trade this guy.
People elsewhere don't believe that the Padres are still trying to win, even though they've really been doing it for years and years.
They really, really don't.
Somehow, some of them still see the Padres as they're like the Pirates and the Rockies.
Right.
They're just looking to shed salary all the time, and they're not trying to win. Yet.
When's the last time we even shed any salary? For the love of God. It feels like all we do is eat salaries. I don't feel like we shed anybody.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
That. I did.
When's the last time the San Diego Padres have traded a superstar for middling talent? When's the last time that we traded our Mookie Betts for
Adrian Gonzalez?
Right? And that was many, many moons ago. So Bob, none more than Bob. Bob every year is like, he's on the block.
Okay,
he's on
Juan
the block.
Soto is an example.
His $650 million contract or something coming up that he was going to get. But, you know, a guy that you had under control, you know, a salary dump, essentially. Juan Soto was not that. You know, you knew you were going to get a window with him. You would have loved to re-sign him, but you also knew he was going to cost a fortune. And you have Fernando Tatis Jr. on a pretty team-friendly deal as far as deals go every single year. And Bob Nightingale is like leading that charge of putting him on the trade block, the imaginary trade block every year. If he gets traded, I will be shocked.
I will too.
Beyond shocked.
I will too. And there'll be something that we don't know.
Correct.
If that does happen. Like there's something behind the scenes that they've changed their opinion on Fernando if they trade him. They're not trading him if they still believe in him and he's going to be a star player.
Yeah, Moby says his reasoning is that the Padres have too many bloated and backloaded contracts. Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. But I just don't foresee a team that sold out
So
70.
keep all of your bloated and backloaded contracts
get rid of the decent.
Get rid of the decent one.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of what you should be doing.
I mean, again, like, could you get the moon for him? Probably, but doesn't mean you should do it, and doesn't mean they're going to do it. I would be beyond shocked.
Me too,
if that happened. But this is the annual. It's just every single year at this time.
We'll check traffic. Quick Padres Smorgasbord. What I want to hear from Craig Stammen, the one question that I really am dying to hear the answer to, and then we'll talk about the Clase Ortiz charges that were made official and filed over the weekend. Coming up next on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Got some problems in the North County, guys. Southbound side of the 15 before Gopher Canyon, collision over the right shoulder. Further down, another crash just before Scripps Poway Parkway. This one's got the slow lane blocked. And on the northbound 15 before the 78, got a collision blocking the 2 right lanes. Coastline ride, northbound 5, Loma Santa Fe Drive. We have reports of a 2 vehicle accident over to the right shoulder. A message from Valvoline Instant Oil Change. You can't avoid holiday traffic or your relatives, but you can avoid car trouble. Swing by Valvoline Instant Oil Change before Thanksgiving. It's your 15-minute drive-through oil change. No appointment needed. Find your nearest location and grab money-saving coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Padres Smorgasbord.
All right, never mind.
Yeah.
Call it something else. Just the last time.
Might be.
I think we can retire it.
Might be.
I think it actually started with a few weeks back after the Mike Schilt news. We were kind of sitting in this point of the offseason. We're like, all right, they're not making a decision this week. It's going to take some time on a manager. What the hell are we going to talk about for the next few weeks? And we just kind of tasked Ben, as we typically do, with you need a Padres talking point every morning.
He's like, no problem.
You've got a smorgasbord of topics. We'll call it the Padres Smorgasbord.
Yep.
But now the offseason is actually underway. Got a manager.
Yeah,
you got
buddy.
GM meetings. The winter meetings are coming up.
Fernando on the block.
Free agency is open.
We got all kinds of
Hopefully, we're going to have real news to talk about going forward. Quickly, this hour on The Fan brought to you by Staples. Have an easy holiday only at Staples. Save on custom cards, custom wrapping paper, great gifts, plus shipping supplies and services to get your packages there safely. Don't miss out on the latest laptops up to 45% off. Staples, that was easy. Don't know about you guys, but I know that this is going to be a normal managerial press conference, some platitudes, some, hey, looking forward to, taking over the job. One question that I really want to hear what Craig Stammen has to say. According to all the reports, he was not a candidate at the beginning of the process. He was one of the interviewers at the beginning of the process. And then at some point, something changed.
The light bulb went on.
And he threw his hat into the ring. I want to know why. What changed that made him think, you know what? I do think I might be the right person for this job. Or was it AJ going, no, I think you're the right guy?
Yeah.
How did it transpire that he went from part of the search committee to one of the interviewees? That's what I want to know.
You're right. You weren't going to ask any. I bet that's Kevin Acey's second
It's going to get asked, obviously. But that's the one I'm most interested in hearing answered.
I would like to hear that story. I would like to hear the story of how that all materialized.
And if it doesn't get asked early, I will, of course, raise my hand and ask that question.
Yeah, I'm interested in hearing how that story went down too. But as far as, what else I'm looking for, nothing.
If I was an alarmist, I'd say, does he really want the job? Why wasn't he guns a-blazing at the end of the offseason? Like, wait, Mike Schilt stepped down?
I got it.
I'm ready. I got my resume ready. I am ready to interview. AJ, where do I apply?
Were you thinking about this a year ago when you were in the front office?
I'm just curious. I'm curious.
It's a genius move, as Cole says. Infiltrate the interview, then apply. That is just brilliant. Brilliant. Maybe he's a better tactician than many of us think.
Yeah, was he in the first meeting? All right, here are some of the things we're all looking for. Okay, let's make sure we get the answers to this and this. So he had
the answers to the test.
Answers already to the test. Yeah, beforehand. He had the cheat sheet. And he goes, I know exactly what they're looking for because, I was in the meeting to find out, what they're actually looking for in this.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think there's, there's probably some truth to all of that. And, it could have been too. to hear these guys, pitch their ideas, their visions or whatever, for him to go, I actually have the same. Excuse me. Or
bless you.
I have the same. I have other ideas too. I think actually, and you start thinking, well, I know this guy and I know that guy and I've been here. Wait, why not me? Why not me? So we'll see. We'll see what he says. We'll see. I do want to hear that story though. I'm with you. But as far as, anything else I'm looking for, man, honestly, don't screw it up. That's it. Just don't screw it up. Don't get up there and be bumbling, sound like you're unsure. I'd like to see a confident Craig Stammen, which I'm sure we will. And it's got to be nerve-wracking. I thought about him this morning when I woke up. I thought about what's going through his mind. Did he sleep last night? Those are the things I want to know. Did you sleep last night? Were you up practicing this? Because I would have been a wreck, right? You got to go up, you got to face the media and put your suit on and go up there. And
the guy is collected, though. Remember
very
when he
much
gave
is
up
collected.
4 consecutive home runs?
Yes, I'm sure he loves talking about
it. He
it.
doesn't, but after that, he absolutely stood in front of his locker.
Yeah, he wore it.
Calmly wore it, answered the questions, was emotional, but also reasonable about the whole thing. He exhibited a managerial temperament even back then as a player.
I think temperament is very important. I really do. And, the steadying type hand. I was talking to somebody over the weekend and I said, it's kind of corny. I said, kind of like that they called him dad when he was a player. I liked that. They all said, oh, dad down in the bullpen. And, somebody had said the relief pitcher doesn't get the world's greatest amount of respect in the clubhouse. Trevor Hoffman did, and Craig Stammen for whatever reason it was, because he was not on the level that Trevor Hoffman was. But for whatever reason, people flocked to him. They trusted him. That's a huge part of it. The trust, the communication, the steady hand. That's what I enjoyed. Now, he could get out there, Ben, and lose the first 10 games. Does that mean he's a terrible manager? Not necessarily. It's a weird sport. Weird stuff happens, as we know. But I'm certainly going to give the dude a chance. I'm going to give him a fair shake, and it starts today.
All right. As for the other big baseball story over the weekend.
Holy cow, guys.
Now, no one was, once the story came out during the season that's what they were investigating, you had to assume it was kind of heading in this direction.
But we had no details then, and we have details now.
Like dollar amounts and everything.
Dollar amounts.
It was...
The Emmanuel Clase, Luis Ortiz story that broke. I guess Luis Ortiz is actually in custody right now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And Emmanuel Clase is not. They face a sentence of 65 years in prison for fixing Major League Baseball games. And I think some of the most jarring info that I saw was that Emmanuel Clase would actually be texting the bookie, the facilitator during the game. Okay. And so right here, at one point, Clase tried to throw a ball, but the batter swung, resulting in a strike. That was Andy Pajes, swung at a pitch way out of the zone. That Clase had already previously agreed, I'm going to throw a ball here, bet on it. And they can bet on miles per hour. Will it be over or under 96 miles an hour? Well, he's like, I'll throw a slider at 91, bet on the under. He throws and bet on a ball or a strike. He throws a clear ball. Pajes swings at it. So after the game, Better One allegedly texted Clase a gif of a man hanging himself with toilet paper. Clase replied with a gif of sad puppy dog face. The Guardians ended up winning that game. He was texting this guy in game sometimes. Overall, between 23 and 25, including, by the way, they were in the postseason in 2024, Ben. In the postseason, Clase gave up some big bombs in the postseason. If I remember correctly, he had an elite regular season, not so elite postseason. Bettors won at least $400,000 from the betting platforms on pitches thrown by the defendant, Emmanuel Clase de la Cruz. It is so insane to think about this going on. And these are just the guys that have been caught. And we're talking about
But it still doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, so the bettors
Of course
won.
it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense why a guy
He made
about $20
$12
million
million over his career.
But it's the other, like, he was still guaranteed a ton of money. The incentives too were huge for him. If he pitched to his incentives, he would make more money.
They were more than $5,000.
He was betting on, he was making enough to like buy a used Tercel is what I saw. And I was like, So for me, I tried to, again, logically, I tried to think about this. It's the juice. It's the act of it. It's not the dollar amount. It never is with gambling.
It's none of juice being a relief pitcher in Major League Baseball coming in front of a sold-out crowd with the bases loaded.
I know.
It's crazy.
And for some people, Benny, I heard this quote once. I think it was in a song. It said, every gambler knows that to lose is what you're really there for. And I thought about it and I went, oh my God, that's the juice. It's the loss. Then it's I got to get back the chase. I haven't placed a bet in 6 months. My buddy who bets all the time. We were at dinner yesterday. He goes, you really haven't placed a bet? I go, no. He goes, you miss it? I go, no. I go, you know what I don't miss? I don't miss being at T-ball and looking at my phone to be like, oh God, did the Vikings cover? They didn't. Son of a bitch. I don't miss it at all. I just cold turkey. Like the first thing in my whole life I ever quit cold turkey. I don't miss it even a little.
People keep asking me, you do prize picks. I do think the single pitch bets are problematic.
That is so problematic.
You shouldn't.
I think player props.
They don't really offer those on prize picks. It's stat projections, but it's a single pitch bet.
Like
is
what striker ball first pitch of the fourth.
It's a lottery ticket.
But
if you
also,
don't have
guys,
inside information, then what are you really guessing on? You've got no idea.
Think about this though. Think about this. The player prop of I'm going to set the over under at 1.5 total bases. What if you're on the take and you hit that ball in the gap and you're like, I'm stretching this into a double? You know what I mean? Like, is that feasible?
But you shouldn't have to worry about sports like Major League Baseball and football because they get paid so much. The risk isn't worth it. Clearly, the risk it's insane for any player to take this risk. I'm more worried about the sports, that are much lower level where the money actually would make a difference. That's more of a concern. It shouldn't be a concern. When you pay someone millions of dollars, you shouldn't have to worry about them throwing a game for $7,000 or throwing a pitch for $7,000.
You shouldn't have
to. It would make no sense at all. It's insane. It's insane behavior by these guys. And I've got to think that they see the other guys see this and go, there's no way I'm going to touch that. The risk is certainly not worth anything like this. It's nuts.
And the guy was one of the best closers in the game, and now career is over. It's over.
All right, I'm taking off, heading down to Petco Park.
All right,
so you guys got the Reindl Report coming up next. Don't forget, biggest fan when we return. And then you will join me.
Drive safe.
10 o'clock, and I will see you down there for the news conference introducing Craig Stammen as the new manager of the San Diego Padres. All coming up just an hour away on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
What's 97.3? The Fan Benjamin has just split for Petco Park. Paulie, I want to talk about him leaving early and why we didn't do it the other way.
Yeah, that's a good question.
In a moment, but we got to get to our biggest fan contest right now. Congratulations to today's biggest fan. Listen up. Carlos Ramos from Chula Vista. Give us a call within the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, and you will qualify for our grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey suite at a Padres game with all the fan staff later this season. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Carlos Ramos from Chula Vista. You're on the clock, my friend. So Paulie is going to be watching the line. We also got a Reindl report to get to. We didn't think this through necessarily.
We never
to
do.
be honest with you. We really didn't think this one through.
We rarely ever do.
Also, why did we let the guy that drives like a grandma leave before we did? We could have gotten down there in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Like before the end of this segment.
Before the end of this segment,
we
could have got
ready to go.
He drives like a grandma, and he's the one we're counting on to get down there and get all dialed in. Why did we do this? It was his idea. He wanted to miss the Reindl report.
Of course.
Is what he wanted to do.
Is there any doubt in your mind? I don't know. I wasn't really asked much input on how to make this work. I don't know if it was scheduling stuff because somebody needed to be here to run the board for Ben. Had I left at 9.
Maybe I should have gone by myself.
Maybe. Yeah. There you go.
So Carlos is like a tier 1, right? He's always in the chat. And
is that the right Carlos?
I think they're saying it is. And everyone in the chat.
He's only got 9 more minutes.
Better get his ass up. So do we do the Reindl report without him? Because I don't know if I got an 8 to 10 minute rant in me right now.
Yeah, we can start.
Let's start the Reindl report. All right, let's do it.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Nothing from Carlos yet. All right.
Keep an eye on those phone lines.
I believe he's a mod in our chat, so
Oh.
I would assume that he would be ready to jam.
Yeah, you would assume. All right, let's get started here. How about some stories we haven't talked about? I wanted to do this one, maybe a little bit personal reasons, but let's see, a shout out to his family is in order in the NBA. Yesterday, the legendary Lenny Wilkens passed away at the age of 88. He was known as the grandfather of basketball in the Pacific Northwest. He was a player coach for the Seattle Sonics before I was born, and then he stayed the head coach and was still involved in the game. NBA champion and just a pioneer in the game.
Always seemed like such a wonderful dude.
Yeah, he was. He played 15 years, All-Star 9 times. Twice he led the league in assists, and then front office roles throughout his life with Portland, Seattle. He stayed involved in the game, and he passed away at the age of 88.
But quickly, it was maybe a month ago.
Oh yeah,
on the Ben and Woods program. And our executive producer got a butt dial.
It was in the Reindl report.
It was in the Reindl report.
This was like a couple of months ago. Pulling it up right now. We can play it
randomly. Because you got a ton of numbers in your phone.
I was in the middle of a story. I think I've booked him before on the show in the past. And I was in the middle of a Reindl report talking about some story in college football or something. And then I looked, like I felt my Apple Watch started to vibrate and getting a phone call. And in
the middle of our show.
It happens often. It's usually a spam call or something. Send it to voicemail. And I looked down at my phone and it said Lenny Wilkens.
Your heart starts to
NBA
pound.
Hall of Fame or something like that. And I'm going, we're on the air. And I'm going, what the hell is Lenny Wilkens calling me for? Here's this moment. This is back in August. It also passed, all of the sorry, I'm getting the most bizarre phone call right now.
From whom? Adam Klug?
I didn't know. Threw me off so bad. I would give you $1 million
Dan
if
Sileo.
you guess. No, but maybe somebody that might have been on his show at one point.
Who is it? Lenny.
NBA Hall of Famer Lenny Wilkins is calling me right.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
He already went to voicemail.
Damn it. Too bad.
He ended up leaving a voicemail.
He did.
He got my number confused with his daughter's email. I think we did a little bit of digging.
Yeah.
And we found his daughter, who was named Alicia, and the voicemail was like, "Leash, your mom's trying to call.
Mom's trying to get in touch
give her
with
a
you."
call or something like that." And I go, "That's one of the most bizarre things I could have ever lined up." And then here we are a couple of months.
Oh no,
later.
that he just SD brother said Woods was wearing the exact same shirt as I am today.
Were you?
I think I was. Am I the new Ben?
Yeah, you really
with
are.
my same shirt.
That'd have been funny if I was wearing the same thing.
That is incredible. Also chewing on a pen then, chewing on a pen now. So yeah, you know how we do it on this show.
And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
The great Lenny Wilkins, 88 years old, a life well spent, Paulie.
Yeah. Before we get to our next story, let's go to the phone
Oh
lines.
boy.
Is this Carlos?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, did you wake your ass up, I guess? Everyone calling you and waking you up to call into 97.3 The
Yeah.
Fan? Yeah, dude. What happened? You sleep in today?
He called me to wake me up.
Yeah, you sleep in today.
I did.
You actually slept till 9 a.m.
Well, I woke up and then I said, you know what? Let's try again. And then, I passed out.
I'd take somebody's life to be able to sleep until 9 a.m. lately. I really would. I don't know. I
We're
don't know
off
what
tomorrow.
to do.
I promise. I'll
be
be
up
up
at
by
3.
6 at the
Yeah,
latest.
I'll be up at 3. Carlos, you have called back in time. You
Congratulations,
are
buddy.
qualified. Paulie, you
Thanks,
have
guys.
his
I
information.
got his
Hang on.
caller ID. I've checked his number. He's good.
All right, you're good to go. You're in. You're qualified. Hope you win. I hope everybody else wins too, even though that's not possible. But Carlos did call back in time. Listen for your next chance to win. Let's see. Later on today, at 1 and at 3.
No.
4.
No.
5.
Close.
It's 5:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
There you go.
At 1 and 5:30. 2 other chances. So again, make sure you go to the website, get registered for all that. Paulie, continue.
All right. This actually probably would have been more of a story for Ben. Did you see? I had no details of this at all. It came out of nowhere. The MLB Open is getting ready to tee off in Las Vegas later this week.
Later this week.
So
okay.
it's going to broadcast on TNT. This is the match. Remember, every November, you always see TNT's always got something going on. Charles Barkley versus Aaron Rodgers with Phil Mickelson. And
none of them have really.
There was maybe the first one. I don't even remember who was on it. And you're like, okay, this is different. They're mic'd up. This is kind of cool.
The Koepka and.
I want to say it was a COVID thing.
There was
started
Koepka and DeChambeau paired up. That was pretty interesting because they hated each other, but then it's back. They're friendly now, but some of these matches have been okay.
So
but
the
this is
TNT
different.
Open format, they're partnering with Major League Baseball. Now we've talked about the GM meetings are getting set to take place. I think they begin later today in Las Vegas. The MLB Awards are also this week at the Cosmo in Las Vegas. So they're going to have the MLB Open, the Capital One MLB Open at Shadow Creek. Looks like they're playing this week and then airing it on TNT next, what's the day, the 10th? So Tuesday, the 18th at 6:30 p.m. Jimmy Rollins, John Smoltz.
But each team has a representative.
Yeah, there's a bunch of players. There's a pro-am, there's a couple of rounds of competition, and then they're saying players from the past and present. So
who is the Padres representative? Do we know?
I don't know that answer.
It doesn't have that information.
MLB.com's only listed.
It's Craig Stammen, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Would be crazy because he's a scratch golfer.
They only listed Jimmy Rollins, John Smoltz, Justin Turner, David Wright, and Mookie Betts on their website. And then I'm assuming there's plenty more.
Yeah.
Are you going to any interest because it's baseball players?
I'll watch some.
Tune in next week.
A little bit. I mean, it's a weird time of year. Tuesday night, perfect night to air it.
Yeah.
I will. I'll definitely check it out. What was that league that they did? The indoor league. I watched that for 1 or 2 weeks, and
was that the TGL?
TGL, yeah. I watched that for a minute, and it was okay, but after a while, it just kind of loses its luster. I like watching golf on television. I really do, but I from my understanding, it was each team has a representative from their team. So
it's entirely possible. Just I'm going off MLB's website. I haven't seen any other players or anything listed, but
all right.
Yeah, Wednesday they got the Pro-Am. Thursday is round 1. Friday is day 2.
Well, I like that they're doing like an actual tournament and not, hey, we're going to do 9 holes. Like that, these matches were always 9 or 12 holes or something. Like they're doing a real tournament. So that's cool.
Yeah,
all right, I'll watch
filling up a 2-day tournament, competitive field, current and former MLB players going head to head.
All right, good deal. I'm in.
Fun, interesting, something different. All right, and then finally, saw this story here in the old prep service this morning. It made me laugh. It has to do with a beauty pageant that went down last weekend, and we are talking about, this was for Miss World Chile. And anytime I think of a beauty pageant, I think of the movie Miss Congeniality.
Sure.
Sandra Bullock. And you think about the talent show, and like she did the water glasses, the music. You see the girls that they'll do the rings or some sort of a dance.
Some sort of
talent.
magic or something.
Yeah. And it's usually, like, from what I've seen, very limited exposure. Pretty vanilla. Maybe sing a song.
Yeah.
You got a good voice. This one threw me off. This woman's name is Ignacia Fernandez, and she was competing for Miss World Chile. Did you see this?
She's fantastic.
You saw this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I of course.
She took the stage wearing a black evening gown with a sash over it, and she was going to sing.
Yeah.
And she had her band. Deceasus is the name of her band that joined her on stage. And I promise, whatever you think you're about to hear, it's still going to blow your mind.
Yeah, if you haven't heard it yet.
Stunning. She's up there in the black gown.
Beautiful.
And listen to this.
Look at her, by the way. It's unbelievable.
Dude, I was not ready for that this morning. The death metal screaming
straight up
with her band Deceasus. Unbelievable.
I mean, number one, she's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my entire life. And then she gets up there and says, I've definitely heard that sound from my missus too, but it's not, it's more when she's angry. But that is like one of the greatest things I've ever seen. How did she do? Does anybody know if she won, lost?
I don't know if there's an update to her. She did. She won.
She won.
Oh
my
got to the end
God.
here.
She is Miss Chile.
Yeah. This was earlier in the competition. The finals were just last night, and she is now Miss World Chile.
So that's one of her like passions. She didn't just create that. She's like, I'm gonna do my talent. It's hard to get it. Yeah. Perfect. That's just incredible.
Ben doing the Miss Chile.
What a dream. What a dream she is.
Oh,
thank
man.
you, Paulie.
You're
That is
very
the
welcome.
Reindl Report for a Monday. Ben's going to be very, very mad that he missed that. He is on his way.
That's unbelievable.
It's incredible.
That person
face
should
and
not
no.
make that sound.
No,
it doesn't match up.
It's
and
perfect,
That
though.
was crazy.
I think I'm in love. Legit. That's just one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Ben will be down at Petco Park checking in hopefully soon.
They just got on the freeway, is my guess.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's taking a sweet time. Paulie and I'll get you through till we split and head down and go to the Craig Stammen press conference, which you'll be able to hear right here on 97.3 The Fan. Stay with us. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. All right. But first,
call 1-800-GAMBLER, GEGE 000-466 for a full list of games and rules played at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
7 Mile Casino from here. It's going to take you a little bit more than 7 minutes, but it's just 7 minutes from downtown. But when we went to Petco, if we go to Petco Park today and decide, hey, let's go get some Kung Pao chicken, it's just 7 minutes away from Petco Park. Big fans of 7 Mile Casino, have been for many, many years, been a longtime supporter of the Ben and Woods program. Been with us through all of it. man, since we very first started. So very appreciative of 7 Mile Casino. Check it out for yourself if you haven't been. Number one, the proximity we love, certainly. But California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em, Pai Gow, and Baccarat. Ben, admittedly more of a foodie than I am, but the food there is spectacular. I go to play California-style blackjack when I go, but the food is just an added bonus. Also, it's a smoke-free environment. There's no slot machines. It's a place for card players. So very convenient to get to, very friendly people when you get inside, and definitely doesn't feel like a dirty, dingy card room. It's a big, spacious card room, not so big that you're going to get lost in it, which I love as well. Kind of a problem with huge casinos, but just a great place. Check it out for yourself. Again, just 7 minutes from downtown. It's 7 Mile Casino.
Hey player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open. Hey, player.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to the program from Petco Park. Our beloved Benjamin R. Higgins. Benny, can you hear us okay?
I've got you loud and clear here at the auditorium at Petco Park. And guess what? I made it in plenty of time, ye of little faith.
I'm surprised.
But-
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm surprised.
I have nothing. Yeah, I have
I have nothing
really
negative to say other than well done. You did
Hope you get a
great-
speeding ticket.
Got some green lights. It worked out well.
Who's down there?
Not a lot of traffic. Got Dave Marcus sitting at the table with me.
Hi,
Adam
Dave.
Klug has arrived. I got
Hey.
Chris, my photog from ABC 10 is here. And I think Kevin Acey just walked in the building, but pretty empty so far.
Okay. All right. Well, we are going to head down there
All right, we'll see you later, Ben.
very, very soon. Interview Klug if you get in a pinch on our way down.
I'll find someone and we can talk about other Padres news. Actually, there was some news that we hadn't gotten to unless I missed it while I was walking up there. Mason Miller was one of the Super Twos in arbitration. 34 players granted Super 2 arbitration status. Not a surprise. It goes to the players with the most service time going into their third year. It doesn't change how much control the Padres have over him. They still have him for 4 more seasons of control.
Just
but
more money for him?
He will get a little bump in salary based on that status. He won't make the minimum, essentially. If you're not Super 2, you'll make the minimum in your third year or a little bit more than the minimum. Now he can actually cash in and probably make a decent into the 7 figures salary in his first year of arbitration. And then it just goes up and up and up in his last 4 years of control for the San Diego Padres. But if anyone deserves it, got to say it's Mason Miller, based on what he's done in his first 2+ seasons in the big leagues.
There is no question about it. He remains one of the more interesting stories of the offseason. I don't know. We've asked, a couple of times people, who's going to make the transition to starter, somebody out of the bullpen potentially. I think all the rumor mill is abuzz with that, but I do think it kind of tips your hand a little bit if you're like, we're going to convert Miller and Morahone, which would tell Padres fans and I think others, we're not going to be that active in free agency. You know what I mean? You can always use more starting pitchers, but I don't necessarily look at anything they do as a desperation move, but I certainly would like them to try to consider on finding a way to bring a Michael King back, right? Not that would preclude them from, extending one of those guys and making them a starter, but I don't know. I just, it would feel desperate if we're converting a couple of different guys. It would kind of tell me, I guess we're not going to be that active.
I tend to agree with you. The Padres have more roster spots that they need to address than, say, the Dodgers, who really don't have much to do. I mean, they're just adding on to...
They're just adding
riches,
superstars.
Whatever they have. Every key player that was on their roster this year is coming back. Their free agents are guys like Michael Conforto, Kike Hernandez, who they'll have no problem re-signing if they want to. A couple of guys in the bullpen, Kopech, Kirby Yates, who weren't even used in the playoffs, weren't even healthy. There's almost no one that was participating in their playoff run that they have to worry about in the offseason. They're all back next year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because the Giants, I expect, are going to be pretty active in free agency. There's some names out there that they're kind of loosely related to. They're being called the dark horse for Kyle Tucker. By the way, could see that happening. Could see that as a fit. I don't know that Kyle Tucker. Now, again, for what he's going to command, he would say, sure, I'll go hit in that vast, cavernous, cold ballpark that, suppresses home runs and everything else. If the price is right? You don't care. You get in your bag and play with Buster Posey and Tony Vitello and, go out and try to win a championship. But, the Padres, I don't think are going to be in the market for that level of free agent. But
don't you think the Giants already made their big quote unquote free agent signing when they traded for Rafael Devers and his gigantic contract already, though?
I do not. I mean, they've got Willie Adames. They've re-upped Chapman. Like their core is pretty set. But I do see Posey finding a way to convince the front office that they need to spend more. I just do. I feel like he's got the trust of the ownership to where they'll say, all right, we're going to take you at your word. If you find somebody that you like, let's get back in the mix. I mean, I feel like they're a team, and I feel like we are too, to some extent. I feel like there's a, you look up the road and I guess in their case, down the road at the LA Dodgers and go, obviously we can't do it like they do it, but we need to get back to competing with these guys because they were beatable last year.
It's that horrible catch-22. We talked about it last week, being in the same division as the Dodgers.
Yeah.
It's always that pressure we got to spend more to keep up with the Dodgers.
You
But then
can't
that
spend like that.
realization that we'll never be able to spend and keep up with the Dodgers,
Correct.
which almost makes you feel like, what's the point?
Well, the
And I hate
point
that
is,
feeling.
the point
I hate
is,
that
the
feeling.
point is, they were 2 outs away from losing a World Series. You know, that's the point. Despite all
But did
their,
they lose the?
they
did
didn't. No, they didn't.
Did the Blue Jays lose the World Series because they didn't spend enough?
No.
Did they need to spend a little bit more and they would have won that World Series?
They
I don't
needed
know.
they needed to hit a sac fly. You know, really, and they win the World Series. It's their sac fly away. They're a chopper away from it. You know, a ball hit 5 feet to the right, 5 feet to the left.
Bigger lead off.
Bigger
third
lead off
away.
there. There's, I mean, really, that's the point. Is that the Dodgers really were beatable last year. They were a beatable team, and they damn near lost it. But kudos to them for rising above and finding a way to win those games. But
So we know that a team that spends about what the Blue Jays spend,
Yeah.
which is in the same neighborhood
Yeah,
as the
top 5.
Padres and the Giants,
Yeah.
or top 10,
can
potentially take down the Dodgers in the World Series. They came close enough to know it can be done.
Correct.
But it wasn't done, and I don't know if it's going to get easier or harder. My suspicion is it gets even harder to do so next year.
But it also gets harder for the Dodgers. You know, they're a year older. You know, we saw what happened to them, their relievers at least, after the first World Series they won a couple years ago, right? And half those guys didn't even pitch this year, or they were ineffective. Now, will the same thing happen to these starters? They have the luxury, though, of saying, no, just rest until June and July again if we need you, and have you come back stronger. So they're doing it differently. You know, they have that luxury, certainly. I don't know what the right way is. You can definitely beat them on the field. You're not gonna win an off season against them. You're just not. You're gonna make some splashy things. Teams are gonna do splashy moves, whatever. But I don't think anybody's going to beat them in the off season. You got to figure out a way to beat them in the regular season in October. And the Yankees weren't that close. Blue Jays were really close. They were really, really close to getting it done. So going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. You know, we'll have a new skipper at the helm as well to try to guide us through what was a pretty miserable regular season, at least taking on our rivals, the Dodgers. Got to figure out a way to beat those guys a little bit more. We could have won the division. Who knows? Things may have been different.
All right, you guys ready to pull off part 2 of the show's swap?
Here we go.
Give it a shot.
You guys, you can head down to your vehicles now and make your way to Petco Park. I've got Frank coming in, I believe, into the studio to run
you'll
things.
figure it out.
I will try to figure it out. We're going to take one more time out. Before we do this, a reminder, all guests on Ben and Woods appear on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future. When charged with a crime since 2010, visit davidpshapirolaw.com. And before we come back, a reminder that Trust and Will is where to get your estate documents in order. Woods and I, about a year ago, I think it was last December, they first approached us and asked us a simple question. You guys have a will for your family? And we both kind of sheepishly looked and said, we don't, but that's not a big deal, right? I mean, it's not like we have major assets to leave anybody. And they go, no, it actually is a big deal. Did you know that if you pass away without a will and you don't name a guardian for your children, the state will decide where they go? Not your sister or your brother or your parents if they're still here. The state gets to decide where your kids go, and it might not be where you'd want them to go. And you can avoid all of that simply and online by just filling out some questions at trustandwill.com. Should take less than an hour, maybe even less, depending on what you're doing. And at the end, you're going to have real estate documents that they will mail to you. You can put in a filing cabinet in a safe somewhere and hopefully not need them for a very long time, but you have the peace of mind knowing that you've laid out some directions and that things won't be an entire mess if you are gone. Just go to trustandwill.com, use the code radio20 at checkout. You're going to get 20% off your trust or will. If you have more things you want to leave, go for the trust, because that can keep your family out of probate court, which is a process that may limit their access to your assets for months and months after you're gone. Can be avoided with a well-constructed trust from trustandwill.com. Don't put it off any longer. We put it off for far too long. Don't do like we did. Do it today. Go to trustandwill.com. Use code radio20 at checkout at trustandwill.com. And we'll be right back. Final segment of Ben and Woods leading into the Craig Stammen news conference here at Petco Park coming up next on 97.3 The Fan.
Okay, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Moment for the start of Craig Stammen's tenure as manager of the San Diego Padres. He will be introduced live here on 97.3 The Fan in about 23 minutes. We will carry the news conference for you live from Petco Park. Get the answers to at least a few of the questions that we've been pondering over this last 4 days since we first learned on Thursday that Stammen was the hire at the end of about a month-long process that the Padres had to replace Mike Shildt. It was about a week after the season ended that Mike Shildt surprised us all by announcing his retirement due to health concerns and personal reasons to step down as manager of the San Diego Padres. At that point, A.J. Preller addressed the media, said they would begin a search, a very wide-ranging search for the next manager of the San Diego Padres, and we'll get more details on that process. We certainly heard reports of Albert Pujols coming in for 9.5-hour interview with A.J. Preller. We heard that Ruben Niebla came down to the very end of the process as the potential manager, but ultimately Craig Stammen was picked and will start his tenure officially today as the new manager of the San Diego Padres. So we'll carry that for you live here on the flagship station, 97.3 The Fan, coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by SD Collectibles. Get ready, sports and Pokemon collectors. SD Collectibles Card Show is back at Liberty Station with over 100 vendor tables, November 22nd and 23rd. Find sports cards, Pokemon, memorabilia, and more. Visit sdcollectibles.com for info. That's sdcollectibles.com. Before we check traffic, which was pretty light for me heading from the station to Petco Park as I got here in about 12 minutes, This is directed to Woods and Paul, who are just getting in their car. Drive safely. You know what? The press conference will be here when you arrive. There's no reason to break any traffic laws. Just make sure that you get here all in one piece. I'll make sure they wait for you. If you're a little bit late, I'll say, hold on. Woods and Paul aren't here. We can't start just yet, and we will delay things until you arrive safely. So don't drive too fast, Woods. It'll be fine. You'll make it. All right, let's check traffic, and then we'll come back and wrap things up. I think Tony Gwynn Jr. is going to come on over to the table here for a couple of minutes as well before the news conference on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855
Again, we're live here at Petco Park getting ready for the news conference to introduce Craig Stammen as the 19th full-time manager of the San Diego Padres. We've been doing this, well, every couple of years for the last few years. 2 years ago, same room. Mike Schultz was introduced as manager. A couple of years before that, it was Bob Melvin. I know the Padres are hoping that they won't have to do this again in a couple of years and that Craig Stammen will be here for a long time, but that's, Major League Baseball, not generally the nature. For managers, it can spit them out, chew them up, and spit them out fairly quickly. We'll see if Craig Stammen, from all things that we've heard and talked to Craig about, has the temperament, certainly, to be the guy. But ultimately, it'll be determined whether or not he wins enough baseball games if he sticks around as the manager for the long term, or if we're doing this again in a couple of years. So now that there is a manager in place, you can start answering some of the other questions that the Padres have going into this season. The biggest ones, where are you going to find depth on the pitching staff? Woods talked about it in our last segment. You can look from within. There has been talk about, taking some of the relievers, some of your better arms in the bullpen, either Mason Miller, Adrian Morejon, even Jeremiah Estrada, seeing what they can do in a starter's role, but that weakens one of your strengths in the bullpen by taking one or a couple of those guys away. Or you can go through the free agency route, which is always a very expensive way to go, especially when it comes to starting pitching. There's only so much you can do in the offseason to try to add pitchers. Nick Pivetta was basically a gift from the heavens last offseason. At the end of the offseason, heading into spring training, finding a pitcher of the caliber of Nick Pivetta, the kind of season that he has, you can't necessarily expect that every single offseason, but they're going to need to find some pitching depth, and they're going to need to figure out what to do to add a little bit of power as they head into next season, as that was one of the biggest issues on offense, finishing about 40 home runs shy of the major league average, even in home runs. So those will be the next orders of business. First, though, we got a news conference, and stay tuned after the news conference because our Tony Gwynn Jr. is going to get a chance to sit down with the primary characters here, including the manager, Craig Stammen, and Tony Gwynn Jr. is with us right now. Good morning, Tony. It's
Hello,
good to see you. What's the plan? Have they told you how it's going to work here?
No. I know just about as much as you do at this point. I think we'll see how long the press conference goes, and then I think I'm supposed to have Stam right thereafter.
Nice. I was listening a little bit to you guys last week, reacting as we were on Thursday when the news broke. How surprised, though, were you when the name Stammen came out?
I think I was very surprised. Maybe it's on us that we were surprised and we didn't do our homework enough. I mean, when we opened up this kind of book of who could be a manager, before we got down to the finalists, as they called them, there was a large list, bro. I think Jeff Sanders might have did it. And we had guys like A.J. Ellis in there. We had guys who were around.
Why didn't we stay Craig Stammen?
Except Craig Stammen. It was funny to me. But, I mean, nothing really surprises me when it comes to A.J. and kind of how he kind of operates.
I made the point last week. Albert Pujols arrives in town. People see him at the airport.
Yeah.
They take a picture. They see him walking into Petco Park. They see him leaving 9.5 hours later. Right. It's pretty obvious. Craig Stammen walks into the building. Well, he's supposed to be here. First of all, he works here.
Right.
Second of all, I mean, the face is not one that just attracts a lot of attention.
No.
He kind of flies under the radar a little bit.
It's not the sexy name for sure. And that was the thing. I mean, once Albert's name was put out there, it was only natural for everybody to gravitate to it, right? He was one of the best players we've ever seen play this game. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And I think that name just had a lot of appeal. But when you break it down, though, all of the names that at least that we know about really didn't have any experience at all.
You played under both some bigger names and some managers who weren't as famous. Did you notice any difference in the clubhouse? Did it matter what kind of career a guy had, whether players thought he could be a good manager or not?
I think it was kind of unsaid. Like, no one really was talking about it, but guys who had respect in the league and in managers, whether they had great careers or not, you typically knew right away how guys felt about it. And I think it does matter a little bit. It also matters, though, relationships, because that's really what it boils down to. Some of the bigger names that I've ever been managed by, Don Mattingly, one, great communicator, great relationships. Ryan Sandberg, who, rest his soul, that was a little bit more of an awkward thing for him, especially dealing with the guys that he was dealing with in Philly. So I think it boils down to relationships, regardless of what your career looked like. And we saw that with Mike Schilt. He didn't play in any baseball
It's what
at all.
made him such an outlier.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't even look like a baseball
No,
player
he
at
doesn't.
all,
He
honestly. And the fact that he was able to have now 2 successful tenures as managers in Major League Baseball without that credibility of being a player in the clubhouse says a lot about what Mike Schilt has been able to do.
1,000%. That type of thing just doesn't happen very often. I mean, it gives, I'm sure, the an organization like the Giants some hope, right? I mean, they're bringing a college baseball coach who's never been in this type of environment, and I can already hear guys kind of murmuring under their breath things that could happen. But I think ultimately it really does boil down to relationships and how guys feel about you. How much do they want to get it right on behalf of you, and I think that matters.
And I think Craig Stammen's an interesting case because fans may look at him and go, oh, he's a no one in baseball. He's a relief pitcher. I've never, people in other cities said, I've never heard of that guy. They just hired a no one. But that's not how he is viewed, or at least how I've heard that he's viewed by Major League Baseball players. They respect his career. 13 seasons is not nothing in Major League Baseball. There's not many guys who get to that length of a career, even in the bullpen. And while he was here, clearly he made an impact on his teammates. He was someone that they all respected quite a bit in the clubhouse.
I think based on, some of the comments I've read, they absolutely feel like Craig is a no one. But that, as you mentioned, that is the exact opposite of how he's viewed. I got to play with him one year as a national. In terms of character, high quality people, Craig Stammen fits that. And he got it out the mud. I mean, he wasn't a high round pick. He turned himself into a pretty successful reliever on teams that were playing meaningful games down the stretch. And so as he was an addition, really, when he came here, when the Padres were at the stage that they were at, and kind of helping lead to have the leadership role. And remember, a lot of these guys have played with him or played against him that are on this roster now. And so I think that's an advantage. These guys already have a built-in relationship.
One thing I wanted to ask you about as well is Craig Stammen served as the player rep when he was there, representing his teammates when it came time to deal with the union and negotiations with the owners. That's a highly respected position in any clubhouse. What does that say to you?
It says a lot. I mean, just thinking in the same vein of Jay Cronenworth, right? I mean, that's who kind of brought him under his wing and kind of showed him how to be in that leadership role. It says a lot because, first of all, that's not a job, if guys are being honest, that many want to do, but it's one of the most important jobs you have in terms of being able to relay and get on message in terms of the union. And so I think that speaks a lot. Many outside of baseball, not many people will understand that, but that's a leadership role that very few are qualified to have.
And then finally, we're just a couple of minutes away from the press conference. We've heard a lot of people in our chat and Padres fans going, well, AJ Preller just hired a yes man, someone who's just going to rubber stamp everything he wants to do. And Woods and I kind of go, well, yeah, I mean, that's who every team hires as manager,
right?
Someone who's on board with what the overall team is trying to accomplish. I don't think that means Craig Stammen's never going to say, I have a different opinion. AJ cultivates different opinions. He likes different opinions.
I was just going to say that.
You don't hire someone who doesn't believe in your vision, doesn't think, hey, I don't want to do it this way. Well, then go find another organization to manage it. That's not how it works anymore.
Right. You wouldn't be in the position to be hired if otherwise. And I just, the last part that you hit on is probably the most important part, is AJ cultivates an environment where he wants to hear different opinions. It doesn't mean you're going to sway him all the time, but he's certainly not opposed to going a direction that he himself may not agree with. He does that all the time. And so I think that's just, I think that's low hanging fruit, easy to kind of pull from. I think Craig will obviously seize the game, or at least seize the way the Padres are going to roll in a similar fashion, but that doesn't mean in the day-to-day that they won't be disagreement. And sometimes Craig will get the best of it. Sometimes AJ will.
Which is, I think, how it worked with Mike Schilt as well.
It's how it works in every organization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, nice win for your Aztecs basketball team. What happened to the football team on Saturday night?
I don't know, man. That was disappointing.
I couldn't decide if it was injuries, if it was rain, if Hawaii just played the game of their lives. I couldn't tell, but I was
came
shocked.
in playing good football. So,
quarterback put that ball on the money all over the place.
But 6 points, I don't know.
I just didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming either.
You know what? Erase it. Biggest game probably in a decade.
They still have it in front of them
against Boise State. So we'll see what happens. Tony, I'll let you go. You'll be back here talking to Craig Stammen and others as soon as the press conference wraps up. But thank you for stopping by.
No problem, Ben.
All right. We will, of course, be off tomorrow, Ben Woods. It's Veterans Day. I hope everybody out there has a good and safe holiday, and we'll be back with us on Wednesday when we rejoin you at 6 o'clock. If there's anything left to talk about from this press conference, we can certainly address it on Wednesday morning. Otherwise, you'll get plenty of reaction from Braden and from Gwen and Chris later this afternoon after the press conference. We've got everyone gathering here. It looks like Paulie has arrived. Did you beat Woods, Paulie? Paulie has made it into the press conference room. Starting to see Don Orsillo getting ready back there. He's probably going to be our master of ceremonies, looks like. He had a nice Padres color ensemble with the yellow shirt, yellow pocket square, and brown jacket. I'm sure you'll be seeing that on television later today as Don makes the introductions and everything. The various members of the media gathering in their places, the TV cameras and crews setting up on the riser, getting ready to meet the next manager of the San Diego Padres, Craig Stammen, who will be here in just a couple of minutes, introduced as the new guy trying to take the Padres to where they have not been before in a World Series title. Otherwise, we'll get the interviews with Tony Gwynn Jr. afterwards as well, some one-on-one here on the flagship station. Only place we're carrying it live right here on 97.3 The Fan. And then he'll turn things over to Braden at the end of the ceremony. And that's what we've got going. So I want to thank Frank Marchese back in the studio as well. Frank, appreciate you stepping in for Paulie for the last few minutes, half hour, to make sure that we stayed on the air all the way through this little jumble that we created. All right, well, I can't hear Frank if he's there. But that's it for us. Thanks for joining us this morning on Ben and Woods. Coming up next, live coverage of the Craig Stammen Introductory News Conference. Next here on 97.3 The Fan. For Paulie, for Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Monday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.
Two of the